It's clobbering time. Clobberanimo!
Yeah. Welcome, my dear friends, to Clobbering Times issue number. What are we? 539 on YouTube, 1,239 overall for almost 14 years. In a couple of weeks, it'll be 14 years. And it is Saturday night Star Trek, I should say 110.
Clobberanimo!
What is up with you, everyone? We're, of course, so happy to be here with you tonight. And again, it's just never, it always gets better and better when I have the greatest first officer in the fleet here with me tonight. Welcome, everyone, to the wonderful Commander RM Briggs. Thank you for being here, number one.
Well, thank you for having me. I love you. You're one of my best friends in the whole wide, lonely, crazy world. And I'm so looking forward to spending time with you tonight, talking about something that you and I love so much, Star Trek, with this amazing room filled with the best Trekkies, the best 735ers in the whole wide world. And yeah, I'm very excited. Let's get to tonight. Let's do it.
Yes. Let us have some fun tonight, folks. 4 more episodes of season 5. Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and I look at our friends piling in. Man, I can't wait. What a group we got already. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. I guess I'll do a couple of quick show notes, and we'll get down to business.
Let's do it.
All right. So let's see. I'm just writing some names down because we want to get everybody. Let me start doing our shout outs. Excuse me. And so let's see here. Okay. Shout outs. Everybody, let's see here. Well, tomorrow night, of course, there'll be the geekery going on at the Great Mark D with a C's channel at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be there hanging out with him, our good buddy, the great chief engineer. And then, let's see, Monday night, Mark C Comics Talk. Not exactly sure what. There will be some kind of topic for sure because it's comic. It'll be comics related as well. So it'll be 9 p.m. Every show at night is always, unless there's a special time, 9 p.m. Simple. Let's just, there we go. It's 9 p.m. Standard Time. Central, I should say, Central Standard Time. So let's see, what do we got? We got comics. Then, of course, Tuesdays and Thursday nights, I'm hanging out with the that extraordinary gang at Midnight's Edge After Dark. And let's see here. Tuesday nights, it's on Wednesday nights, Loki's channel at 7 p.m. for the comic book roundtable. Sorry, everybody, clearing the throat there. And then of course followed by my show at 9, Wildcard Wednesday nights. Thursday nights, of course, after the big Midnight's Edge After Dark show, our wonderful clubhouse, Cloudy's Clubhouse, with our first officer and chief engineer, and of course Friday nights at the great Nick Weiser's channel at 8:30. So actually this week there won't be a show. Usually on Friday nights we're there. So let's do some shout outs and we'll get down to beeswax.
Let's do it.
Is everyone hearing me okay? Is everyone out there? Because I'm showing 0 viewers.
Yeah, there's something going on with the algorithm again. It's obvious that there are at least 20 people in the chat, so I don't know how it could be at 0, but sometimes they mess with our numbers, sometimes they throttle us down, and what can you do? I'm gonna back out and then come back in and see what happens. Okay.
If you hang on there for a minute, go ahead.
Do 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 ba da 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 dee nee 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 do 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 do.
There you go. Didn't do any good. We have 0 people. So everyone, please say something.
Some people have 29 watching.
Okay.
We see 0.
Yeah. Okay, I can watch it from the other side, I guess. Oh, man. All right, well, that's just StreamYard being an asshole about it. So, oh, well. Okay, everyone. Anyway, let's do our shout-outs about that.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see here. All right. Shouty outies, of course.
Out loud.
That too.
We're gonna have a party.
Exactly. The great chief engineer, Mark D with a C, is here tonight. Hey, dude, what's up? Hope you're doing right. Hope you're doing all right there. What? Okay. The great Eric K. Well, let's do our wrenches.
Let's do
first, like we always do. Sorry, I'm a little bit distracted because I'm trying to get this stupid thing with the StreamYards fixed, but it's not gonna.
LT says that he sees 32. Your chief of security.
That's cool. Thanks.
I see Billy and Bobby and Jody and Sue.
Okay.
That's definitely a throwback. I'm gonna put down my little mirror now. Bompity stompity romper room.
Nice.
Little 70s kids.
Nice. I didn't recognize it. Anyway, we got the bronze Richard here with us tonight. The great Eric K. Thank you for being here, buddy. And of course, he's got the puppy, Kirby.
Yeah, Eric
Love
K.
that puppy.
Kirby.
Yes,
also,
indeed,
one of my patrons. Thank you, Eric. Love you.
Thank you, buddy. The great Chris Punisher, the Vindicator Wrench of the North. Thanks for all you do, buddy.
Also, one of my patrons on Patreon. I love you. Thank you for supporting my book.
The man. He is the man. D-Bud Martin. Again, I haven't seen everyone, so I don't know if D-Bud's here tonight, but it doesn't matter. He gets a shout out anyway. I hope he is, but I don't think he is.
Anyway. See 735ers.
What?
Oh, that was a request in the chat.
What do you mean?
Oh, that I say, I see 735ers.
Okay.
Like the creepy little kid in that movie.
No, I got it, but I've never heard that request, so I didn't know what the hell was going on. I didn't know. All right, let's see here. Let's let me get back to where we're. D-Bud, I don't think D-Bud's here, but we say shout him out with the great D-Bud Martin and Richie
D-Bud Martin!
I'll tell you who's here, though. The God of the Wrenches, our chief of security. A shout out to the great Lord Thoth and the lovely Lady Thoth. And Avon lives. Long live the Legion, my friend. And hello to your little puppy.
Sir Lancelot.
Yeah.
Okay, these dogs need some cheese. Let's get some cheese up in the chat.
Indeedishness. And I believe this august gentleman had to run, but we always love the great J-Man, the Wrench Without Fear, my partner in crime on Earth B. And had a great time hanging out with him on Earth B this past week, doing another Bob Haney presentation. And I'm going to be a guest on his show, by the way, speaking of show notes, on, I believe, this coming Tuesday night. I think it's going to be 5:30 Eastern time. He and the great Decepticon and I we'll review the first issue of Shazam #1, meaning the old comic from the early 70s DC when they brought him back. We're going to review a comic and have a good time talking about that, since some movie that purported to have this character in it is out in theaters right now, but doesn't know the meaning of the character because they're a bunch of never mind. Anyway, we'll get going. So we thought we'll celebrate proper Shazam, Captain Marvel it is. Angry Boy, the master of the Claboni is here. Extraordinary artist, extreme, supreme, and cover artist of the wonderful.
And the crowd goes wild.
Cover artist of the great science fiction tales by R.M. Briggs. Kal-El, the super wrench.
The real soup.
Well, also I spotted the great Maddie's daddy, the real wrench Mjolnir.
That's our Thor in Vegas.
Fanty Outsiders here too. Welcome, Fanty. Hey, Fanty. Yeah. So let's see if anybody else showed up. We'll get these. Oh, our wonderful communications officer specialist is here.
Jilly Jill.
Anti-derivative Jill.
Jilly Jill. Jilly Jill.
Hey, Jelly. Good to see you, my dear. And okay, let's see. Shooter is here.
Pew, 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 pew. Thanks for supporting my book. I love you.
The Felicianos, Raymond and Sandra. Hello there, King Dolphin TV.
King Dolphin TV.
In color. Let's see here. Stuart Mitchell, you old space dog. Good to see you.
Stuart Mitchell, Dolly had braces.
Indeed. The Comic Relief Crusader.
Hello, Alberta.
Dave G. Sound.
Dave G. Sound. Not just another body of water.
Indeedishness, not at all. Michael Beacom, hello there, and shout out to the wonderful Cassandra, your better half.
Thank you. Thank you for supporting my book.
Thank you. The great enigmatic drop bears here.
The erudite bear. Please look at those reviews. They are going to come fast and furious, and they're going to be wonderful. Enigmatic drop bear. Thank you for supporting my book. I really appreciate you.
Indeed. The Catman, a.k.a. D.D. Myers. I hope you and your wonderful wife are doing well, my friend.
Catman do?
PvP, Pleasant Valley Pickers here.
PvP.
Lisa, the lovely Lisa. Good to see you, Lisa. And I'll stop in the middle for a second just to thank everyone who is lurking out there. We really appreciate you. And everyone who is listening on a download or a rewatch, whatever you want to call it. I don't say it enough. I forget sometimes like an idiot. But thank you, Midnights. Appreciate that report. We really appreciate you.
Mm-hmm. We do.
Thank you so much.
We do.
So at least YouTube knows we have viewers, even if StreamYard refuses to show them to us. So the great
braces.
JT Kirok.
I see Steve's.
Steve sees braces.
JT Kirk.
That too. Classic Comics.
Classic Comics, CC.
What's up? Good to see you there, man. CC. SP4H.
SP4H.
Midnight's Oblivion. Hey there. Good to see you. And they call him Scuba Pete. He's the king of Rumba Beat. When he plays the maracas, he goes chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom, and hello, Leslie.
Yes, hello, Leslie. Oh, okay, Lord Thoth. These are the Steves I know. These are the Steves I know.
No.
These are the Steves I know. These are the Steves I know.
No. You know, no. Alara Caro said, hey.
Alara Caro
What are the Steve you mentioned? Simply Steve.
Simply Steve.
Yes, indeed. Admiral T. Hello there, Admiral. 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 Admiralty.
Admiral? Admiral?
The Time Police is well, boy, do we ever need the Time Police tonight. Captain Infinity and Beyond.
Captain Infinity and Beyond.
Sean Carter of
Sean Carter of Mars. Hey, Sean Carter of Mars joined my Patreon. You are a sweet man. Thank you so much for supporting my book. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Indeed. Matt G.
Matt G.
And Linrod. Hey, Linrod.
Linrod.
As far as I can tell, that is all we have so far. And we will, of course, write down accordingly anyone who pops in. I mean, maybe I'm missing it. Let me backtrack a little bit. I think we might be good. So we're good enough to get started, I think, now.
Mm-hmm. I think we are.
So, all right. Let us get down to beeswax here. We have, of course, for those who don't know, or new, who maybe is listening for the first time, basically what we do is we decided to take on the fool's mission of reviewing all of Star Trek, all 735 pieces of it. Real Star Trek, of course, meaning from 1966, when it aired first in September, all the way till it stopped airing anything to do with actual legitimate Star Trek, which is, of course, Roddenberry and then bequeathed to others. 2005.
Except no substitutes.
2005 is when it cuts off. Anything after that is not legitimate Star Trek. It's called, as we call it around here, the filth.
The filth.
No filth here. Didn't I say Oblivion? You said I'm not sure about Enterprise. That's okay. You don't have to be sure about it. I am. We disagree. We're fans of it, but you don't have to be. But it still fits into what we define as real Star Trek. But not everybody likes the same things.
It's true.
Which is all good as long as But at least it's to me, it's real deal Star Trek. So we're going to review it all, and we started a little over 2 years ago now with the original series, of course, the animated series, the original crew films, and all of Star Trek: The Next Generation. And now we are nearing the end of season 5 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, which of course means next week we will be having just 2 episodes, and then we'll have a wrap party for season 5. But right now we're on we're ending up with season 5, 4 more episodes to go. It was 4 more episodes tonight. That is our standard format, which we usually do. So what we're doing here basically is this. Well, number one, we'll read a bit about explaining about what the episode is about. We'll discuss it a little bit, our opinions here and there. We'll rate it on a ratings report card type of a rating system, and then we turn it over to our fantastic chat, and we get them to say, of course, their rating and give us a few words of their opinions on the episode, and they vary. Some of us, like 20 of us, including Raquel and myself, might hate the episode, and a couple of our friends in the chat will love it, or vice versa. So it just depends. All opinions are welcome here. Remember that clearly, the way it said it, though. Opinions are welcome. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get agreed with. You'll just be treated with respect. I mean, yeah, we might, we joke with our friends about opinions, but they're all allowed here and everything, and we appreciate them all. We appreciate, we get I think we get a fairly, not fond of the word when applied in certain ways, but diverse, array of opinions here. So I will now show you what our reference point is, and then turn it over to our wonderful first officer. This is a book that we're using largely as reference point. It's called Star Trek Deep Space Companion by Terry J. Erdman and Paula M. Block. And now, without further anything, I will turn it over to my wonderful first officer, Commander R.M. Briggs. She will explain, and we will get underway with the episodes for the evening. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, boss. Captain, my captain. Okay, so the captain is showing you this book. It's the scanned image of this book. If you want to know anything about Star Trek Deep Space Nine, you really owe it to yourself to get a hold of this book. Please do not turn to the cesspool of IMDb or Memory Alpha, which is polluted by the filth, or any of these user-generated sites. I guess, people think it's fun to create this trivia and fill up this content, but most of it is complete and utter crap. It's not true. It's rumors. It's things people have said perhaps in their memoirs that may or may not be true. Exaggerations. You get the gist of this. So if you're looking for real production notes and you're really looking for real information, true trivia, and want to know what happened behind the scenes, look no further than Star Trek Deep Space Nine Companion by Terry J. Erdman and Paula M. Block. They use original source material. So here on this show, you're going to get a very organic experience. It's going to be a bunch of Trekkies sitting around talking about the episode, but we will not flood the chat with stuff from IMDb or stuff from Memory Alpha or any of that other stuff, because it's very problematic and it's almost always wrong. So if you're interested in that, this is definitely a great book, a vetted book, where you hear it straight from the horse's mouth. They speak with the people who were involved with directing, producing, acting, creating the models, original source material. It's really the best way to go when you're trying to get information on a show. The problem with this book is the guy goes on for like 15 pages, like 8.5 by 11 pages, talking about the synopsis, talking about the summary. That's not good for a podcast. You can't sit there and read and read and read it. People will lose interest, and it's not necessary. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to read the synopsis from Wikipedia. We know it sucks. We know sometimes it's wrong. We correct it along the way. We read it extemporaneously. Once again, that very organic experience. The boss and I don't talk about these episodes beforehand. We don't say whether or not we like them. So we just read that from Wikipedia. We correct it. We all talk about it. You get your say. The boss and I get in the mix, and we have a great time. And so that's about it, folks. We got 4 more for you. Let's get at it.
All right. So here we go. Excuse me, episode. We're now ready for our first episode of the evening. Let's see here. That would be Soldiers of the Empire.
Yeah, and Soldiers of the Empire is season 5, episode 21. Now, this is an international crowd, so some of you might be scratching your head right now going, what? What do you mean it's episode 21? Okay, let me stop you right there. DS9 has multiple episodes that are multiple parts. Sometimes they're recognized, sometimes they're not. And also streaming services divvy it up in a really weird way. So if you're one of those people who's in the UK or Australia or elsewhere scratching your head, it's prod code 519. And we all watched this episode for the very first time on April 28th, 1997. I'm going to be reading extemporaneously from that Wikipedia site, just the summary. If it's wrong and it sucks, I promise we'll correct it. I don't know what's coming. People just write this stuff, and sometimes it's not well written, so bear with me. Let's just do this. Martok receives a message from the Klingon government stating that he has been assigned to retrieve a missing Klingon vessel, the Bemoth, lost several days ago. The Klingon High Council assigns the general a ship of his own, the Rotaran, to accomplish the mission. He departs Deep Space Nine along with his newly appointed first officer, Worf, who has signed on to the mission at Martok's request. Worf's lover, well, not his lover, his Parmakai, Jadzia Dax, a devotee of Klingon culture, joins them as the ship's science officer. She's not a devotee of Klingon culture. It's that she is a Trill, and she has lived other lives where she had a lot of intimate relationships in Klingon culture and had a lot of Klingon friends. The Rotaran is Martok's first command since his escape from the Dominion prison camp, and he is dismayed to find that the crew's morale has been destroyed by a series of punishing losses at the hands of the Dominion's ruthless soldiers, the Jemadar. The morale situation is only made worse by Martok's overly cautious nature and unwillingness to go to battle. And because of this, he misses a chance at an easy victory. Dax acting as a Klingon would, challenges Worf about the general's behavior, which Worf will hear none of. In the mess hall, Dax is forced to stun a Klingon officer with her phaser when a pair of officers get into a violent argument, almost causing the death of one of them. And this is a very dubious thing. You don't interfere with them fighting one another. That's not Klingon culture. After this, Dax angrily confronts Worf about it and tells him that he needs to deal with the general by challenging him for command. The Behemoth, the missing Klingon vessel, is found just across the Cardassian border, but Martok, fearing that the Jemadar left it as a trap, refuses to enter Cardassian territory to rescue it. Worf realizes Martok is paralyzed by fear. Reluctantly, he decides to challenge Martok for control of the ship. A knife fight ensues, during which Worf sees that Martok's fear is gone and allows him to win the fight. Worf sustains a nasty wound, yet survives, putting Martok into a battle frenzy just as the Jemadar ships approach. The revitalized crew defeats the enemy, rescues the Behemoth, and returns to Deep Space Nine as victors for the first time. Martok is forever grateful to Worf for reminding him of his duty as a Klingon warrior. I had to do that for Eric K. As a Klingon warrior, and offers him a place in the house of Martok. And that is all the internet has to say about the summary of Soldiers of the Empire. I'm going to turn it over to the captain now. Captain, my captain, mon capitaine, please tell me, what did you think of Soldiers of the Empire?
What's up, Wolfie? Welcome, buddy. If you're a big fan of Klingon episodes, it should be a fairly straightforward, entertaining Klingon drama, I suppose. So on that, I kind of, because I like Martok, although I'm not so sure he would have necessarily. Not sure the way he's kind of written here is kind of really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
a little weird. Him being a little frozen, different things like that. Overall, though, being on a Klingon ship, an episode like that, you know what? I'd rather the occasional diversionary episode like that than doing everything about Ferengis and all this other kind of crap they usually do. Once in a while, going on a Klingon ship, not a bad idea for an episode. And Worf and Dax on there. So I found it to be certainly a relatively entertaining character interaction episode, but that's about it. I didn't take a whole lot away from it other than that. I think there's some of the writing I believe was a little bit suspect in terms of characterization, but overall okay, fairly entertaining episode.
Yes. Hungry Boy is saying, in the town where I was born, lived a Gorn who sailed the sea. Okay,
go for it.
Yeah, boss, I pretty much feel exactly the same way as you do. You are my Star Trek soulmate, so that comes as no surprise to anyone present here this evening. But yes, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Oh, it is his birthday today.
Oh, okay. Happy birthday, Martok.
So General Martok's opening comments about needing to train due to being in prison make absolutely zero sense. He fought every day in the Jemadar ring, and that's why he is blind. Martok wasn't in a cell without combat. So there, in that episode, that's actually a very flawed episode, because they make it seem as though they're in a concentration camp where they may move about freely. But then there are aspects of the episode where they make it quite clear that they are confined to the cell. But one thing that they make very clear is that they all go into this combat ring because the Jemadar really, really want to fight these Klingon warriors. And this is how Martok loses his eye. So to say that, basically he was a prisoner of war, like they make it seem like he was a POW, starved and just, lying in a cell wasting away is complete poppycock. He was fighting every day. So suspect dialogue. It doesn't take days to get blood out of the carpet. Julian says, Martok, don't bleed on the carpet. It takes days to get blood out of the carpet. Obviously, that's not the case.
Kidding.
Given the way,
kidding him.
Yeah, he's just kidding him, but you know what I mean. It's just, if it takes you out of the story, it feels odd that Martok would receive a ship and crew without glory or honor. Why would he receive a failed crew for this mission? I love the ginger Klingon. She's a cutie patootie. Anytime I see that ginge, obviously, I'm an Irish ginge. I'm pretty happy to see that. I thought it was also quite weird that Martok orders wine through Kira upon returning to Terok Nor DS9. Kira would not be the person who he would be ordering wine through, and certainly they wouldn't be received with wine at the airlock. So more suspect dialogue. I wrote at the end here, this is a decent Klingon story. Nothing special. You have to be a real Klingon fan to think this is outstanding.
Yeah.
It's just a decent Klingon story. And once again, Worf gets adopted. So Worf is continually being adopted. And he's well loved. He is well loved. I wonder how his Earth parents feel about him joining the Martok family. So, and that's all I have in my notes.
Well, there you go. Okay, make quick work of that. Really. What is your rating of Sages of the Ember?
So it's neither divine nor disgusting. Sometimes you know that I rate these Klingon episodes really high because they're wonderful adventures and they're satisfying adventures. I sort of just felt like this was kind of meh, and I just gave it a C+. It's neither divine nor disgusting, and it's just meh.
Yeah, I gave it. I think I gave it a B-. Yeah, I gave it a B- because nothing really bothered me that much, and it was relatively entertaining. But like you said, sort of there, and I guess I would probably gave it a little bit high. But we don't have. I don't think our good buddy Max is here tonight. So what we'll do is we'll start starring those reviews. Everyone, I didn't give the word yet, but some of them popped up anyway. But always wait for the word if you can, please. Nevertheless, please start. Please come across with the reviews, friends, and when we get a couple of them collected up, we'll read them.
You heard the boss. Fire at will.
Fire at will.
Faces on stun.
Sorry, PvP, you're good. Let's see.
Oh, everyone's noticing the raspberry. Well, ask and you shall receive.
That's right, raspberry. Yeah.
I just had to do like a good raspberry for everyone because I wanted it to work when everyone's computer goes into dark mode. So this one that I made, it works in dark mode and it looks really good in dark mode. And it also looks good in regular mode on your computer and on your phone and your computer and your laptop. So enjoy it. And whenever you want to, call something poop, you have the raspberry.
There you go. So we'll start out here. The great Lord Thoth, Chief of Security, says C. Wasn't too bad considering everything lately has been a D. Yeah, no kidding, man. Love Clink stories, and Judgy is sexy. Middle of the road episode. Yeah,
agreed.
I'm kind of there with you. Yeah. Absolutely with you there. Classic Comics says a grade B-. A solid Klingon episode. It helps establish Martok's character and the bond between he and Worf that will be paid off later. Yeah. Let's see here. Our chief of communications, Jill, says, A. DS9 excels at developing the Klingon politics and culture, giving Dax the role of building up Worf, who builds up Martok in an absolutely poetic manner. Let's see. This is a lovely example of Star Trek's ability to tell a story, to build up instead of tearing down. Indeed, starting with a ship that's given up and ending with a rousing victory and deepening friendships or deepening. Yep. Thank you so much, Jill. Absolutely, it's just Raymond Feliciano says, A great Klingon. This was a great Klingon. He says, this was the redemption of Martok for his ordeal or imprisonment. The fight of Worf and Martok was priceless. There you go. Thank you, Raymond.
Boss man, our good friend Dadman and the Dadman clan just walked through the door. Dadman!
All right. Good to see you, my friend. Glad you're here. Let's see here. Where were I? Midnight's Oblivion said B. just be even. And they call him Scuba Pete. He's the king of a Ramba Beat says, sung like Brian Adams, cuts like a knife. I'm not sure if I know that one.
Took it up for granted, but how was I to know? Martok wasn't letting go. Now cuts like a knife, but Dax feels so right.
Glad you did that.
So much cheese.
It's a B
so
from
much.
Scuba. Well done, sir. Hudson Valley Picker says B plus. Always liked Klingon episodes. Solid fun. The Martok Worf interaction was enjoyable, even if it wasn't the best Klingon episodes. Got you covered, dude. Thank you, PVP. Lisa says C. A Klingon morale episode with no aggression, no drawn blood makes for a sad and dull Klingon. Luckily, Worf got stabbed and victory was had. Completely boring, forgettable, not horrible, not great.
I love Lisa.
It's a fair cop, Lisa.
I love Lisa. I love you too, Scuba Pete. Also, pew, 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 pew.
That too. JT Kirk says B plus. Great acting. Some of the DS9 cast in their prime. The Bemonth story was just too weak. I love Dax throwing the Klingon out of her seat in the mess. Yeah, Roger, got you on that one.
Roger Dodger, what's your vector, Victor?
We have clearance, Clarence. Let's see. Hungry Boy says B plus. 1940 style opening. If you can't get Rip Torn to play a crusty battle weary Klingon, get G Hartzler. Yeah, Rip Torn would have been great as a Klingon, would he? The team adjusting to new military type roles smacks of what people had to do in WW2. Oh, you got more. Okay, yeah. Hang on, Hungry. I'm looking for it. All right. Dax with the Klingon crew, a delight, of course, as was Sandra Nelson, Tavana. Sadly, Rick Worthy, unworthy of his role, removed golf balls from your mouth while speaking. Klingon jerkweed. I added that part. Mood of atmosphere on the Klingon ship was aces and the nods to partisans from Greece, Yugoslavia during World War II, rebattling smarter, better equipped foes were rife, but enacted. Sorry. Thank you, sir. Wow. Thank you to the great Hungry Boy.
Rob Altus wants you to know that he does not want you to call him Shirley.
I won't. Rob Altus.
Shirley. You're not going to call Rob Altus Shirley. And also, just so you know, boss, Rob Altus is here.
Even better. Kapla. Rob Altus. Good to see you there, buddy. Great to have you, my friend. The great Michael Beacom says C. Page 448. Bear, meaning Ira Stephen Bear, of course. Give me Star Trek. Give me Star Trek. Klingon. Give me Star Trek. Klingon. Is it just me, or does this feel like a plot? Like a pilot for a new spinoff series? Oh, I don't know. I'm not a heavy. Star Trek Klingon. I guess that's what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a show called that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dumb me. I'm not a heavy Klingon fan. Directed by LeVar Burton again, so he's getting.
Mm-hmm.
I got to find your next one, sir. So it's split in two here again. All right. He's getting better. Apparently, everyone on the set was singing the Klingon song, which was from a CD-ROM game. Page 449. Whoa. Okay. All right.
Lovely.
Well, there you go. Thank you. Up in here. All right. Shooter says B. PTSD. Reasonably well done. General Martok is a good choice. He has the history to justify his condition, and he is a likable character, making the viewer invested. Excuse me. Go try to go too fast. That's what happens. Also, who doesn't like a Klingon-centric story on a Klingon ship? The Rotaran's crew are also experiencing PTSD, albeit to a lesser effect. I love Dax's line, Klingons being on a diverse people. Yes, because you don't hear it much. Ultimately, this feels like the story of a cursed ship on the high seas. The resolution enjoyable enough, enjoyable, although Martok's recovery is very rapid. Maybe it's the Klingon psyche. Oh, yeah, they're tough little dogs, aren't they?
Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's blood wine.
Maybe it's bloodline. Eric K., the great bronze wrencher, says, C. One thing that drove me nuts at the end when they actually crossed the border to save the other crew. They were not cloaked. Fire the first officer. What the heck? Enemy territory not cloaked? What in the hell is going on here?
What is your problem even?
Alaric Edison B. Good Klingon episode. You got this. What? It's got some kind of. We can't see the emojis over here. Still shows me nobody watching. I hope somebody is. But you all seem to be.
Are you all actually here?
I hope you're all here. Simply Steve says, C+. Let's pass Worf around to be adopted, and the Pepto-Bismol Klingon blood isn't that bad, Bashir. How does a mousy Martok work after constantly fighting other prisoners?
Yeah.
Not good writing episode.
Agreed, Steve.
Well done,
what is
Steve.
your major malfunction, mister?
That's indeed. Chris Persia says, a B-. Good episode. Great to see Martok truly acknowledge Worf and accept him as a warrior and brother. 3.5 barrels of blood wine out of 5.
I'm so happy that Chris enjoyed that episode.
Yes, sir. Let's see.
Dadman just wants everyone to know that he's often asking himself if he's actually here. And I would like to welcome Gil Babel, the great Gil Babel, also known as Cardinal Sin, or the gentleman I call Cardi!
Cardinal Sin, Gil, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. All right, let's see here. What we got next? Kal-El, buddy, Steven says, A+. Although more drama-driven than pure sci-fi, which seems to be the norm for the series at present.
Right.
This was an excellently told story, which further develops the mutual respect and admiration that Worf and Martok have for one another since their escape from internment camp 371. We see the crew of the Bird of Prey going from being convinced that they are cursed with Martok reluctant. They are cursed with Martok reluctant to engage in battle, to an enthusiastic crew with a commander who is reminded that he is a soldier and a warrior with the help of Worf. Worf being welcomed into Martok's family as a brother at the end of the episode was indeed a heartwarming moment, as well, excuse me, and the perfect way to end the story. This was definitely a wonderful Klingon-centric episode of DS9. There you go. There you go. Thank you so much. Kal-El. Let's see here. Wolfie says, rating B. Great Klingon stuff here. Interesting rescue story. Fantastic shots of our beloved Burrell-class Bird of Prey rescuing an older Katinga battle cruiser. Always great with the ship.
You mean Inka Tinka Bagovna na? Kidding.
Works for me.
Sorry.
I love the idea the Klingons sing while going into combat. Sing along with 12 Klingon sea shanties now on cassette. Now, the Phantom Outsider, what I'm seeing of his, it says 2 of 2. Did he have a number 1? That's at 946.
DVD is here.
Oh, DVB. Good to see you.
And you should know, too, that our great friend, Dee Dee Myers, the cat man, he put a late one in, but it's in there. It's right after Mark.
Okay.
And who are you looking for right now, boss?
Well, number 1 for Fanty.
For Fanty.
Because I've got number 2 of his.
Let me go.
Maybe he got that's at 946.
I see that. It's right in front of me here. Let me go and see if I've missed something. Well, the chat did jump, but I'm. Oh, I got it.
Okay.
I must have double clicked it because I did click that one.
All right. Well, Catman, a.k.a. Dee Myers, says, Klobby, I would have to say a C. Okie dokie. Thank you so much, Catman. Fanty Outside, he says, C. I guess he means Martok. Being gun shy made sense after his captivity makes sense, as does the high command giving Martok a ship of those without honor was likely a test. If Martok was recovered, he'd bring, hang on, glory to himself and that ragtag crew. It's a jerk move, but that jerk Gowron is still in charge of the Empire. Alrighty, Fanty.
How dare you speak that way about my Gowron?
Gowron's a jerkwad. We all know it. The great enigmatic Trout Bear says B minus. Somewhat similar to TNG's A Matter of Honor, but told from the Klingon perspective instead of the human perspective. Worf and Dax, were essential to this narrative, demystifying Klingon customs. Martok is a great character and quintessentially Klingon. There is though a problem with the basis of his relationship with Worf. Worf's moment of clarity was not shown in Inferno's light. Let's see here. Martok's character continuity, on the other hand, is more believable. He could have been suffering from the effects of PTSD, and the way Worf and Dax maneuvered to resolve this was inspired. Yes. Why was Martok given such a flawed crew for such an important mission?
Right?
The writers did not need to saddle the story with this device. It would have been just as effective with a top shelf crew. That's a good point.
Or not bringing it up. Or you know what I mean? Like sort of like them discovering that they have shell shock, while it's happening, right?
It's a fair cop. Absolutely.
Instead of, like a crew of known cowards.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been sailing around for 7 months and we're all cowards. Okay, well, all right. And Simply Steve says, "Oh, Gowron."
Oh, Gowron. Mark D. with us, see the chief engineer with the final review of this episode, I believe. Our caboose here says A minus. Always like the Klingon episodes. Worf is great in this one as he restores the honor of the crew. I especially like the relationship between Martok and Worf as they both redeem each other this season. The song was originally from a CD-ROM game on Star Trek, a game called Star Trek Klingon. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Extra points if you can sing this. Lol. Quite well, Los Pablo. I can't do it.
No. It's going to be a no. Excuse me.
Yes.
Can I Mark, may I please have your agonizer? Your agonizer, please.
That wasn't, yeah. I think you're right.
I want to put him through.
Please.
Sorry, go ahead.
Can we please put Mark through the Klingon Rite of Ascension? You have those emojis. Please use them against Mark right now. It's okay. He has to take it. It's in his contract.
Yes. Well, I believe we have finished with that episode.
We have.
All righty. Well, there we go then. Wow, that was quick. Good. Let's get that one out of there. And so there we go. That was great. Now, everybody, on to our next episode for the evening. And here's where we might need the time police. Children of Time.
The time police.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna go turn the heater on. It's got cold in here for some reason.
Oh, you cold?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm just gonna put a coat on or something. I'll be right back. I'm not out of earshot. I'll still hear you.
Okay. All right. So our next episode is Children of Time. It's season 5, episode 22. And if you're scratching your head wondering why yours isn't 22, it's a streaming thing. It's prod code 520. And we all watched this for the very first time on May 5th, 1997. I'm going to be reading from Wikipedia. It might suck. I've also not pre-read it, so I might not read it that well, but it's okay because it's not written well. We know this because it's user-generated content, but it gives us a guide. Let's do it! The Starship Defiant investigates a planet surrounded by an unusual energy barrier. They find the planet is inhabited by 8,000 descendants of the Defiant's crew. The descendants' history began when the Defiant tried to escape the planet. Instead of passing through its energy barrier, the ship was thrown back in time 200 years and crashed with no hope of contacting the Federation or repairing the ship. Faced with that reality, the stranded 48-person crew of the Defiant, including Dax, Cisco, O'Brien, Worf, and Dr. Bashir, decide to remain and establish a society. What? Well, if they crash and they can't leave, how did they decide to remain and establish a society? This person needs shin kicks. Let's move on. Unfortunately, the stranded Major Kira died a few weeks after the crash due to neural damage she incurred when the ship was passing through the energy barrier. Bashir did not have the medical equipment on the Defiant required to treat her. In addition to their descendants, 2 members of the original crew of the Defiant still exist on the colony. The changeling physiology of Odo has given him greater longevity than the rest, along with a more human appearance. I spoke about this last week when we say that in the Bible, Odo is supposed to be middle-aged. And this is what I was alluding to without revealing any spoilers. Here we're seeing, oh, wow. So he is going to live a very long time, perhaps thousands of years, maybe hundreds of years. Anyways, that's what I was getting at last week. While the Trill symbiote Dax continues to live on in a new host, Yadrin. Worf encounters the Sons of Moog colonists who choose to live a Klingon lifestyle, but they shouldn't be the Sons of Moog, should they? They should be the Sons of Martok, since he was adopted again.
Mm-hmm.
The original Odo is trapped in his gelatinous form due to the fluctuations of the atmosphere, during which time the older Odo confesses that he has been in love with Kira very early in their relationship. The officers now realize they face a dilemma.
Wow.
Let's put them both out the airlock. No kidding. If they use the Defiant to safely leave the planet, they will never have traveled back in time. Wow. Grammar. Seriously. And the community on the planet will be erased from existence. But if they allow history to repeat itself by crashing in the past, they will never see their homes and loved ones. And Kira will die in a few weeks. Yadrin shows them a way out by using the quantum bubble to duplicate the ship and crew so that they can both make choices at once. Who wrote this? This person needs us shin kicks. But it turns out to be a trick, and he wants to survive. If they try it, they will just repeat the crash. After much discussion and joining in the community's planting festival, they choose to repeat the crash. But the older Odo loves Kira so much that he would rather prevent her death than allow 8,000 people to survive. He secretly changes their program flight plan so that they escape from the bubble, causing the colony to vanish from existence. And that is all the collective internet has to say about Children of Time. Thanks for the sucky summary. Now I'm going to turn it over to the captain. Captain, my captain, mon capitaine. Please tell me, what did you think of this episode?
Jerry Lane, hello there. Welcome, by the way.
Hello.
Okay. Oh, I don't know where to begin. What? First of all, one thing I can't. I mean, so you come up with a cute idea that allows you. Hey there, Herc. By the way, Herc 130. That allows you to.
Okay. Does anybody have any some? We need some tequila.
It allows you to come up with all these cute ideas, but you have no foundation for it. For example. I'll give you one nitpick right off the bat. I don't think it's that much of a nitpick. Where'd they get another Trill, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody? Bueller. So Was there another trill on the Defiant that we know about?
No, we don't know. We just know that it was like, what would you call that, Wolfie? What would you call that? I've never been in the military. Would that be a shadow crew, or no, a skeleton crew? I think it's called a skeleton crew
there were like
of
30 something,
48 souls.
like 48 people. Okay, so I've never seen any other trill on DS9.
No Booleans, no Ferengi, nothing. Apparently, it was just 48 humans.
Right, there were humans all of a sudden.
And Bajorans, and then, of course, Worf, son of Martok.
That's the least of my problems. This episode, first of all, it requires you to be in a bubble because they can't. I can't do it. It hurts my brain to think how dumb this whole concept is. I know a lot of people probably watch it and get caught up in the fifis of it because it makes for a compelling drama, I guess. But then the problem is the drama falls apart when you have to explain it. The wonderful thing about the drama of City on the Edge of Forever is you don't have to explain anything.
Because they don't put themselves in a position where it should be explained.
Exactly. But this has to be explained. And wait a minute. They go back. It's one thing to get shot back in time. That in itself I have no problem with. But you're gonna correct the accident so these people will never. I can't. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not going there. I'm gonna explode if I go there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let you go with your notes because I can't take it. That's what Captain Finity here for. Captain Finity, I'm gonna need a verdict from you on this once we get ready. So I know you're not reviewing episodes with us, but I'm gonna need a call for you.
Yes.
Time, please.
Okay, so I'm really torn on this episode because I actually think that there was a little golden nugget of a goodness here, and it was just completely wasted. Just absolutely terrible. It'd be like you find a little golden nugget and you look at it and then you throw it into the Grand Canyon. Good job. So here are my notes. An energy surge makes the Defiant time travel. I'm just going to say that again. An energy surge makes the Defiant time travel. Moving the Odo and Kira romance forward. Avery Brooks is so genuinely kind and loving toward children that it's heartwarming, and it's heartwarming every time. The time travel thing is way too easy at this point. Not only is it way too easy, it's far too frequent. We actually have some cool ideas here that Gene Roddenberry would have liked. Because one thing that Gene Roddenberry talked about is not that Gene Roddenberry wanted to live forever. He wasn't like somebody who was like, oh, I want to be a vampire. I want to live forever. I'm totally into this transhumanism and all this other stuff, or I want superpowers to live forever. When he spoke about it, he talked about the fact that he wanted to see what happened after he died. He wanted to see what the future would hold. And so when we think about him earnestly imagining something like this, I think he would have been tickled with this. But unfortunately, there's just too much easy peasy time travel in DS9. So there's nothing special here. It's not well wrought. It's not executed in a way in which it would be enriched, and you could forget about the scientific faux pas, or just put that behind you and just enjoy the story. And once again, we're seeing too much of this let's stretch the genre. So if you want me to focus on science fiction, and you want me to think about, and you want to draw upon my mind's eye, this idea of what the world would look like after I left it, what would happen with my descendants, what would, it's a very beautiful thing. But why do you have to mix it in with Odo and Kira? Yucky, yuck. There's so much cringe and yuck here. It's just yuck. I also think that it's preposterous that Gene Roddenberry would have ever allowed anyone to say that the lives of 8,000 people over the lives of one person, that was more important. I mean, all we needed was Spock. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one. Okay, so if you have 8,000 people and there's a possibility that the energy barrier will kill you, why would you just fly into it? That's another hole in this story. If they barely survived breaching the barrier the first time, so you know what I mean? Like it's just. Ugh. I love that O'Brien calls Worf on being a crap father. So Worf is like, oh, you should stay here. Look at your legacy. And O'Brien's like, dude, you don't even see your kid. I want to see my kids again, but thanks, bud. I love that part of it. This is a very sad but beautiful story. I am not happy about the frequency and ease at which we time travel. It seems like we're time traveling all the time on this show. This would have been a standout home run if all the time travel crap wasn't so insanely easy and insanely frequent. If we would have had some type of weird anomaly, if we would have had something that was odd about the planet, and all of this happened, oh wow, it would have been so great. And if we wouldn't have had the weird hand holding, the kissing, the way the two kiss one another, we're back in Lego land where it's like watching two Lego pieces being put together. It's just awful and cringy. And I think it's disgusting that a 200-year-old Odo, although we don't really know how old Odo is, I think it's sick that he killed 8,000 people for the love of Kira. Not only is this like gross, I can't believe it's on Star Trek, and I can't believe that's how they finished it. It's so melodramatic, soapy, gross. Like you want to have a shower after he's, like just look at his face there. He has that poop eating grin. Look at the grin on his face. You killed 8,000 people because you have a crush on Kira? Who are you? Put this guy out the airlock. Anyway, that's all I have in my notes.
He wiped them out of existence.
Yeah.
And yet they remember them. So these people existed, but they never existed.
That's right.
They existed, but they never existed.
So their minds wouldn't be wiped.
Existed, but they never existed.
And not only that, how about that probe? Why wasn't that probe used to trigger their memory to say, oh my gosh, and have that, inner light moment where there was an entire society of people. There were 8,000 people down there, and let's draw that probe in and please set out a space beacon, put out a beacon, tell no one to go through this barrier or they will risk life and limb. It's just
I would add that they existed, but they never existed.
I know.
They existed, but they never
existed. And the probe.
Yeah, but see, the thing is they existed, but they never existed. Thing is, everybody thinks you got to really take to heart here, in all seriousness, is that they existed, but they never existed. But see, more importantly, though, and I'm being serious here, they existed, but they never
existed.
They existed.
Oh no, we're losing Clobby.
They
no.
Existed.
Clobby!
Clobby! They were like Earth B. That never existed. This is Crisis on Infinite Earths. They become a DC universe thing now. They existed.
The episode broke, Clobby.
Error. Illogical. Seriously, though, you're absolutely right. There's a beautiful story in there. If you watch that and you don't really care about thinking it through, it is a beautiful story. Although, again, I don't know where they got a trill.
Yeah, that's dumb.
It's lazy ass writing beyond
And the
belief.
probe.
And but see, the thing is, but it all boils down to me, and I'll try to be serious here for a minute, everyone, is that they existed, but they never existed, but they never existed.
They existed, but it was unprofitable, so they never existed.
They existed, and they never existed. They existed again. You see.
They exist, but don't no longer. They didn't. Wait a minute. They did exist. Now they don't because it never did. That's what I'm saying here. They existed, but they never existed.
Sterilized.
They existed, but they never existed. They existed, but they never existed. They existed, but they never.
Ooh, hello, Daisy Blossom Flower Child.
Daisy. Tracy, stop, Dave. Don't, Dave. I'm losing my mind.
Your answer true.
Don't. Existed, but never existed. Max Redstone, help me, Max. Help me, Max. Help me, Spock.
I might have to fight
Help
Clubby
me,
for
Spock.
command here. Somebody give me a knife.
They existed, but they never existed. Exterminate them. I don't understand. They existed, but they never existed.
I can't, everybody. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it, man. Game over, man. Would you put her in charge? I can't.
You can't handle the truth.
No. I can't. No. Oh my God, no.
Reject, yeah.
I'm sorry. Where were we again?
F.
What?
That's where we
What are
were.
the-
This
no
is an
wonder
F.
No wonder this thing is showing that there's the 0 people watching. Oh, sorry, everybody. What happened?
It's an F.
Is it? Yeah, but does F exist? I mean, do we exist anymore?
We do.
Okay. I'm sorry, everyone. I don't know what happened. I didn't exist for a minute there.
Dave. Help me, Dave.
Help me, Dave. Don't, Dave. Stop. Open the pod bay doors, Hal. All right. I don't even know what the hell is going on here anymore, folks. Let's clean this sucker up and get back to the point. Hello there, Daisy
Can we please
Blossom.
cleanse
Welcome.
the stream?
Can we? Oh,
Yeah,
Daisy Blossom, good to see you.
I call forth the claw bony.
But it doesn't
Take the
exist.
tarp off of it, fire it up, put it in 5th gear.
I don't think it exists anymore.
Get her
All right, let's see.
going.
Daisy Blossom Flower Child. Hello there. Dad Man. Thank you, Dad Man. With an effort like that, it must be rewarded. Oh, you're too kind. Thank you, buddy, for the super chat. $1.99. I appreciate that, man. And Max Redstone, I'm on the case. So, thank you, Captain Infinity. Believe me, I needed you here for immoral support, buddy. So thank you for being here. Thank you for the super sticker, Jill. Larry's here. Oh my God, he exists. Larry exists. I mean,
A man so nice, you ought to say his name thrice.
oh yeah, good to see you there, Larry. Super sticker. Thank you so much, Jill. Appreciate you, dear. Thank you. Okay, so let's see.
I need the claboni.
Okay, I'm sorry. You do, don't you?
Fire it
All
up.
right, everybody. Here we go.
Dust it off. Fire it up.
If you perceive Alamarine, you'll come with me.
All right.
Hey, where the heck did Wolfie super chat go?
I don't
Wolfie
know.
sent us a super chat and I don't
I
see
didn't
it.
see it.
What the heck is going on here?
I don't know. Thank you, Wolfie. If you did, I didn't. Let me run that back.
Was Brunt here? Did Brunt take it?
I don't know.
It's
didn't
not
see it.
here.
Well, that's okay. I mean,
What the heck is going on?
Zathras is here. He exists.
Oh, crap, crap, crap.
What's up, Zath?
I don't believe this.
I don't
Wolfie
know.
Super Chat is not here. Wolfie Super Chat isn't here.
I never saw it, Wolf. So, if you can suss that out, it's fine. But it's not necessary. But thank you. Okay. So, what is your rating of children of don't exist, never exist? Sorry, I mean, children of
the nonsense.
Children of something. Time.
Children of the nonsense. My rating is F.
Oh my God. I'm going to give it an F on principle because I mean, there's a lot of well done drama in it and all that other kind of stuff, but you broke it down to the point where not only is it just makes my head explode, but as I think I've idiotically demonstrated enough there by being an ass. But, you know, Odo, when you think about it, that's the worst part. Odo just murdered took a lot of people out of existence, murdered them, whatever you want to call it, for one woman that he loved. I mean,
yeah, and it's like you expect to hear Meatloaf singing "I'd do anything for love," but you want to hear him say, "But I won't do that." It's just absolutely so cheesy, cringy, ridiculous, morally bankrupt, ethically bankrupt. It's just so cringy. It's like chewing wool or tinfoil. Why? 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 Why?
Captain James C. Skywalker's here, by the way, and so is Courtney. Hey, Courtney. Good to see you, my dear. She's out there driving. Well, be careful out there driving, Courtney. Love you.
Courtney.
So, okay, so you're giving it, what'd you say? What did we do? We gave it F.
It's getting a big fat F with a
I'm
big...
giving it an F. It's ridiculous. Because again, there's some very, I think a lot of people could watch this episode and not even think about that stuff and see a very compelling drama. The ideas just don't wash for me because I'm like, wow, you just, and look, I was willing for anyone here to change my mind tonight to tell me that I missed something. And like, that's why, I wanted the time police here, Captain Finity, to tell me, did I miss something? Is this malleable timeline? By the way, Cap, would you call it malleable timeline? What would you call this one? What is it exactly?
I believe you would call it bull spit.
You probably would. I mean, it's something that it just breaks my stupid, already limited brain. So
nincompoopery.
Yeah, it's pretty foolish, I think. Yeah, Max, I got your
maximum limericks.
Yeah. Let's see. What's it? Oh, he got a. I can barely read.
Lord called it porous timeline, but I'm going to call it poopus timeline.
What's the fair cop?
And a Phantom Outsider called it divergent timeline, and I'm going to call it dopey timeline.
I'm trying to see. What did you send me, Max? These are reviews. Send me some
reviews. My goodness, look at this, boss. I'm going to put this up on the marquee. Please read this, boss.
Hang on a second. Go ahead.
Read this.
Wolfie, that's not right. I didn't see your super chat in the stream, yet they charged you. YouTube shenanigans. Wow, it figures. I mean, I can't even see how many people are writing. So what happened? What did Wolfie say? He gave one?
Yeah, he did a super chat, and thank goodness that Chris was here. Thank you to all the wrenches.
Well, Wolfie, I'm sorry about that, buddy. I don't know what happened.
And that's nuts.
Yeah.
Chris said it's not there. It's not on our side, but it's not on their side either, boss.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry, Wolfie, brother. But I do appreciate it. Thank you for whatever. I'll try to dig it up later when I have to go into the back of the YouTube thing and try to dig it up. And I'm sorry, man. It's weird.
So why don't we just shut him out now?
Yeah, StreamYard's just screwing up. Yeah.
We love you, Wolfie. You're the bestest. Thank you for donating to keep the lights on.
Yeah, thank you.
At this virtual comic book shop we call the 735 Club.
and whatever it was, a sticker or a chat. I'm sorry about that. You could, if you it was a chat, then just you can rewrite that and I'll read it here, whatever what it was, if you want.
Look at this,
You know.
LT. This is weird. Like these are like the
You didn't
top
see it?
wrenches
Yeah.
on YouTube that work for the big
You didn't
guys.
see it either?
LT didn't see either. Random.
Crazy.
Yeah, and these aren't like newbie wrenches. These are the guys who work for the big guys. So cray.
Yeah, indeed. You sent some.
What's
Oh,
this?
okay.
What's this? Wait, wait. This is Wolfie. I'm gonna put it up on the marquee, boss. Here go, boss.
What's that?
It's
Oh,
the
okay.
next thing Wolfie said to you. So it might be what he
Klingons.
put in the super chat.
Klingon sea shanties, 99 bottles of wine on the hull. I'll paint my ship with your tongue. My targ ran away. My parmakai won't die with honor. The limp shuffle. Nice.
Thank you, Wolfie.
Weird. Like Rob Alta said, he had something like that happen on him. So
Weird.
it could be YouTube, but I mean, I thought it was StreamYard's giving me the problems. Maybe it is YouTube's fault instead of StreamYard's.
Well, they're still saying there's no one here, so I'm apt to blame
Right.
YouTube.
StreamYard's is saying no one here, but if you go to YouTube, it shows how many people are.
Oh, that's good. That's
here.
good. Could we please get your Carson impression here?
Why? Who's here tonight?
No. Yeah, I love it when you go weird, wild stuff. Weird, wild stuff.
That is wild. That is weird, wild stuff. Ed, don't you think that is weird and wild and wildly weird stuff? I don't know. They existed, and then they did not.
God,
exist.
don't do that again. Don't fall down the rabbit hole.
You see, Ed, what happened was they were there, and then they were not because they never were there. And when they left, they were never there. But they remember them, so they know that they, in effect, destroyed 8,000 people because Odo is a selfish jackass. Yes, it's wild, weird stuff, isn't it? Sorry.
Chris is saying that the monkeys are tinkering with the moderator abilities. So
Wow,
the little gremlins in the machine.
Yikesers. Thank you.
HB.
Well, thanks, HB, but don't tell Maddie's daddy that he hates it.
Don't talk about cheeseburgers.
Oh,
They're
I want a
supposed to be
cheeseburger.
my friend.
Yeah, man, I want a cheeseburger.
Yeah, I want like a triple cheeseburger now.
I might go get a triple cheeseburger. Wait, everyone, I'll be right back. You go and just chill. And that way I will exist, but I won't exist. I'll have a cheeseburger, but I don't have a cheeseburger.
don't.
Well, cheeseburger exists, but it does not exist. All that weight I gain exists, but it does not exist. I can be that kind of time traveler.
I've lost Clobby.
I'm
Clobby,
sorry. I think it's time
where
now to
are you?
let's review this episode. Max, if you're there, buddy. I'm not exactly sure what you sent. They look like reviews, and they're so small I can barely see the writing on it. It's not limericks. He sent me some reviews, but I can't tell which episode he's referring to. It doesn't say.
Yes, Admiral T gets 12 monkeys. 12 monkeys run this whole thing.
I'm not sure what episode you're talking about. Case wrong officer. Those look like reviews from last week or something.
Ooh, Sean
there we
Carter
go.
from Mars.
I found a different one. I found some. Okay, all right. I'll have some limericks for y'all from Max. I found them now. It was on a different thingy that you sent. You had one of them had something else. Okay. So thank you, Max. All right. So are we ready to? Do we F the hell out of this thing? We're ready to get the. Everyone, please send your reviews now. Sorry about that. That was me. See, for a minute there, I existed, but I didn't. But I existed, but I didn't. But it existed, but I didn't. No, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry.
Where are you?
Okay. All right. Raymond, have a good night, buddy. Raymond's heading to sleep. King Dolphin TV.
In color.
All right. I'll tell you what. While you're getting your reviews ready and Raquel is getting those, I will read us two. We'll have two Max Redstone limericks from you because we have Soldiers of the Empire first, and we'll do much like that Crazy Time Paradox. We'll have 2 this time. So here's Soldiers of the Empire by the Great Max Redstone. Martok returns to the battle, but he's acting a bit like he's acting like a bit like scared cattle. Worf challenges a fight that that makes Martok see the light. Then the Jem'Hadar feel the death rattle. Okay, Martok returns to the battle, but he's acting a bit like scared cattle. Worf challenges a fight that makes Martok see the light. Then the Jem'Hadar feel the death rattle. Excellent, buddy. Now we're caught up to speed. Now, Children of Time. See, they existed, but they didn't. Oh, sorry. Sorry. We'll get this right. By the Great Max Redstone, Children of Time. Upon a planet, the Defiant becomes trapped. For 200 years, the crew did adapt. Then, without sway, old Odo helped the ship get away. For without Kira's love, he'd be handicapped. Whoa! All righty then. Wow, nice stuff. Well done, Max. You the man, buddy. All right. So first of all, the great Captain Affinity said, you can never change history. It's really that simple. F-. Thank you, great Captain.
Boss man, just so you know, Wendy and Jimmy are here.
Wendy and Jimmy. All righty then.
Hey.
Good to see you. I hope you are doing great tonight.
Oh, Chris Persia's talking about Burger Priest.
It's always great to see you.
Oh,
all right, hey.
Burger Priest.
What are all you? What are all you? A bunch of Mark D's talking about food, trying to make us hungry? Cut it out.
I hate it when that happens. And then I'm so hungry.
Yeah, I'm about to start eating some chips here if you don't stop it. Linrod said F, but Clobby gets an A. Oh, I get an A. Oh, thank you, Linrod. You're too kind. Appreciate you. I laugh at my insanity, you insensitive people. An episode drives me insane, and you all just take pleasure in it. Captain Finney said, "Yep, any we prevented ourselves is, as Clobby points out, impossible. Malleable timelines is the accepted term, and changing it is ignoring Rule 1, eschew obfuscation." All right, that's why we need the time police, folks. But everyone, give a big shout out, a round of applause to the great Captain Infinity and beyond. Sean Carter says D for me, only because I always like a story where a difficult decision is needed, and because of Cisco's display of gentleness towards kids. Well, yeah, again, the thing, Sean, is there's a lot of really nice things in terms of performances and beautiful concepts and ideas in there for sure. It's just your main bubble of an idea just is shot all to hell. That's your problem. You like it. You mean there? I'm not saying I know exactly how you would make that story work, but you probably could make it work. Not like that, though, in my opinion. D- says Pleasant Valley Picker. Awful convoluted crap. Could not care about this story in the least. Only part I enjoyed was Odo Kira scenes, as I always thought that they'd make a nice couple. Only reason I didn't give it an F. Well, there you go. And this is a shocker to me. Okay, well, if there's Raymond real quick, so he said heading to bed. This is an F and deserves a trip to Corn Hub, and Clobby's performance. The Corn Hub and Clobby's performance deserves A. Well, thank you, buddy. Let loose the club on. I appreciate that. I was all serious. I didn't make any of that up. I'm kidding.
Chris, are you seeing what HB's putting up here? Burger profits. Can you believe this? Burger profits. Anyway.
Well, somebody's gonna start getting some shin kicks with this burger talk.
This is just it.
D- for Zathras is just like last week. Yeah. Let's see here. All righty then. Let's see. Kal-El says F-. We have never seen you give it that low a rating, buddy. When some time travel episodes of Star Trek are somewhat what happened? What happened?
The chat just did that when I clicked on it. So obviously Chris is right. There's something weird going on. And now I'm starting to get mad about it.
Well, it's got to be some kind of YouTube thingy, because YouTube's probably not sending the correct information to StreamYard, which is why it says nobody's listening or watching. And now they're doing silly crap like that. Anyway, okay, F- says the great Kal-El. While some time travel episodes of Star Trek are somewhat good and serve the purpose of telling a great story, neither applies in this case. Where to begin? The whole episode shouldn't have been made because the events in the story couldn't have happened. The moment that future passed, Odo made the decision to alter the ship's flight plan. All of the events that led up to. Hang on, there, buddy. Got to find your other one. Where are you? Oh, there you go. Okay. The occurrences in the episode would never have happened. Cisco reassuring Dax that as long as they remember the non-existent descendants, they will always have existed is very surprising. Hang on.
They never existed.
They never existed, but they existed, but they existed, but they never existed. Why'd you do that to me?
Clobby,
Clobby,
come back to me. Clobby, come back to me.
Oh!
Come back to me, Clobby.
I had no idea that the crew of the Defiant were now members of the Q Continuum, or at least travelers, yeah. The dilemma of whether or not the 8,000 people should or shouldn't live was already, hang on, moot before the episode started, and therefore no real connection can be made to them or their plight by the audience. It's best to simply forget this episode. Maybe Odo can help with that. And absolutely well said, definitely, to the great Kal-El. And again, where'd they get a trill? Sorry, just saying. Where the hell did they get a damn trill? I don't, seriously.
Yeah.
The great Lord Thoth says D. Midas. Cringe, awful episode. This made my head ache more than once. Ugh. This isn't Odo. Ugh. I don't even have much of a review because this is forgettable. They existed. Yes, sir. Right there on the same page with you, my friend. D minus says shooter. This episode went in with the best of intentions, but time travel again. And all of the senior staff on the Defiant again.
Yes.
What is the deal with that? So dumb. And yet they conveniently couldn't take Odo out of his little.
And no one's looking for them. And there's no homing beacon on the Defiant. There are never any homing beacons on the runabouts, even though this is the captain.
Who watches the ship when they're the station when they're gone?
Right.
Bad convenience contrivance writing. Dax also mentioned smart fungus, warning you may get an STD. Firstly, Shakar is unceremoniously dumped, opening the way for the cheap future Odo reveal that he loves Kira.
Ew.
Then the painful temporal paradox. Let's move on, shall we?
Right.
Good lordy. Yeah, you ain't kidding, buddy. Let's see. The whole shipwreck community could have worked if there was no time travel involved. And I like the mixed species descendants. Some good stuff, but nowhere near enough to get past bad. I'm right there on the same page.
Michael Beacom sent you a gift, boss, and I started.
Okay.
Hopefully it doesn't evaporate. There
it
is. The chat is
Michael.
very weird right now.
Weird, wild stuff. Michael, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. He says, I wanted to fit the DS9 writing staff with shock collars like a dog, like for invisible fencing. It's like a dog for invisible fencing, except it delivers voltage whenever someone says time travel.
It's getting so ridiculous.
Yes, sir. Oh my goodness.
Boss man, you just received a gift from the great bronze wrencher, Eric K.
Oh, thank you. Eric, appreciate you, buddy. He says 80% chance of no officers on DS9 if attacked. Yeah, it's really silly.
And why aren't they out looking for them? Why?
Good point.
And what about the probe? And what about sending out a beacon? Don't go near this planet. Like, there's no science fiction in it at all, and they ruined the nugget.
Exactly. Send the probe out. Don't go to this planet. It's like, haven't you learned? Stupid Kirk wouldn't have done that.
And they put a probe out into space that was taking account of what had happened to them. This is what happened to us. And O'Brien puts it out into space. So, huh?
Exactly. Oh my goodness. JT Kirk says F this episode. This app actually is a full diaper in direct sunlight for 8 hours. It's damn near the filth territory.
Yep.
With the fifis and sci-fi.
No,
This
zero.
reminds me, it was zero. Okay, zero. Sorry. Of And the Children Shall Lead.
Yes.
And not in a good way. Right there with you, buddy.
Hail.
Fire and snow. Friendly angel. This episode blows. Sorry. Dave G. Sound says there is no form of communication capable of exemplifying my Planck negative score within the current vein of human understanding. So A+ for your reactions alone. A+.
Love Dave G. Sound.
Your rating existed, but it didn't exist. But it doesn't. It never existed. It existed, but it never. Oh, sorry.
Clobby.
Sorry. Simply Steve Sade. Double F on the writer's defiant boops. Back 200 years, trills don't appear for nothing. Odo Super Psycho over Kira.
Yeah.
What were they smoking to pitch this time loopy shitty up? More Klingon PTSD plus.
Please.
Yes, sir. I guess since Jadzia could have, who would she had Worf with her, right? So if she mated with Worf, she didn't mate with a human. So she went mixed. She couldn't have made a natural trill that could hold the symbiote.
No,
that was a trill. What's his face was a trill.
Yeah, I know.
But as far as I know, trills, we don't know how they reproduce. But assuming they do it like we do, there would at minimum have to be at least one trill on the a trill for either Jadzia to mate with or two other. I don't know. Never mind.
What would have happened is she would have had to have had a child with Worf or another humanoid or another trill.
But that was a straight up trill, though.
Yeah, I know. And then put Dax inside of her offspring.
Right, but it had to come from two trills, doesn't it?
I'm not
to be
sure,
a legit trill?
but the fact that it's not answered means that the writing has failed. The writing has failed because they've signaled our attention towards something, then failed to deliver on it. And you know what that means.
Here we go. So, Michael Beacom says, time travel again. Page, D-, by the way. Again, page 451. Main writer was also the Paramount Vice President of Advertising and Promotion. So no pressure to accept his bad idea, right? Wow, I didn't. Wow, that's amazing. The main gimmick of erasing present. Find your next one, buddy. Got it somewhere. Oh, there we go. Sorry. People by undoing past actions was explored better in Outer Limits, The Man Who Was Never Born, or the film Cyborg 2087, 1966. The best I have ever done to prove my feelings for Cassandra is...
You've never hurt anyone, I hope.
Take her on trips, buy her things, and pledge myself to her to death till death. Yeah. Never thought of wiping out 8,000 people and a civilization to prove my love. Fortunately, hard to compete with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you'd have given some other motivation, like he realized that, he needed the Alpha Quadrant needed Odo to come back to fight because he knew there was a war coming, because he's been in the link and he knows that we got a war coming, maybe. He just said, "Nah, I love you, so I'm selfish, and I don't want you to die." So, boom, I went ahead and wiped everybody out.
Yeah, and
Um,
the entire idea of Kira saying like, "Oh, 8,000 people have to die because of me." Well, they're turning it
she
into
didn't
like
like
a
it.
I know, but she, the entire thing is preposterous, and those people, those people already existed, so we know how Starfleet officers would respond, and the way that Cisco marches around saying we can blah 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 blah. This isn't a Tuvix situation. Eight
No.
thousand people exist now. Doofus McGoofus.
Why would not only Kira ever fall in love with someone who would do what he did? Why would it now, knowing what she knows? Why, if she tells Cisco, why would any of them ever trust him again?
What do you mean? They're
Trust?
easy peasy,
Why
fresh
would they
and
ever
breezy,
trust
new
Odo again?
lovers in the next episode. They're all chummy
Yeah,
chum
no.
chum.
So say, why trust Odo ever again? Though, because man, you know what he's capable of.
Mm-hmm. If I saw all of those children there, the choice would be very easy for me. I would not allow all of those children to die because of me. I would never choose that. I would choose the lives of 8,000 people over my own instantly. I mean, it's not even a question. Yeah, it's
Ridiculous.
so bad. Head desk, head desk, head desk.
Get charged, receipt, shooter saw the monkey. The monkeys must have simply pulling their fingers tonight. I'm glad I'm okay. Well, sorry about that, Wolfie. I'm so sorry, man. Jill says, excuse me. D-, the technobabble to time travel and get out of it makes little sense. And so it is only a background necessity to the greater dramatic dilemma. Never mind Odo becoming as evil as a founder. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think? Yeah, absolutely. As much as they want me to forget the technicalities, there's one big paradox hanging. If the Odo who doesn't exist changes the flight plan, wouldn't the evidence that he had been wouldn't I think you mean there be evidence that he had been lost to time? I don't know, because all I know
it's just
all I know
dumb.
is they exist, but they didn't.
Clubby, come back to me.
Sorry. See, Jill, what you almost did to me? Love you, Jill. The great Scuba Pete says, "Sung like Sheriff." Okay, F-, he says, if I could turn back time, I'd skip this damn episode. Bronze
DBB
Ranger,
wants to know, excuse me, do you have the time?
See, DBB, the thing is they existed, but they never existed.
Clubby, come back.
Oh, sorry.
Clubby, come back to me.
F, says Eric K. So Odo kills basically 8,000 people, and everyone is fine with it. I can see Cisco. He is into genocide. They could not domesticate anything to pull a plow or make a tractor.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Pick the damn rocks from your field. They did not even calculate to get back to the proper timeline. Odo merged with himself and learned nothing from himself on how to shapeshift. Yeah, a good question.
Ooh, that's a very good follow-up science fiction. Ooh, you could have a bright future as somebody who does editing for science fiction authors. What a great catch. What a great catch.
Indeed.
Very proud of you. That was a gooder.
The great enigmatic drop bear says, F, time travel doesn't belong in Star Trek. These stories, and this one is no exception, are usually full of paradoxes and contrivances that create structural problems in the anthology. So DS9's leaders can head off on a sojourn in the Gamma Quadrant for a week while they're apparently on a war footing with the Dominion. Yes. Who's in charge there? Quark? Kai Wynn? General Martok? Maybe Nog. I don't know.
Nog.
Good point. Good point, though. Um, this story could be construed as a meditation, as a meditation on the legacy left by the show's characters. If this regard, let's see, if this regard, excuse me, in this regard, it is a failure. Our crew are not, most of the time, a bunch of melodramatic psychopaths.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on. Thank you, DDD. Absolutely, it's just. Linrod said, this episode gets an F, but Clobby gets an A. Oh, thank you. I thought maybe I read that one. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Cavatino Cavalryman Che is here. Say hello. Say hello. Boss? Boss.
Sorry,
boss,
muted.
are you
Good to see you,
there?
Cavatino. Cavatino, thank you for being here. So I accidentally muted. The Catman, aka DD Myers, says, Clobby, I give this one an F plus. At least I got a plus, so not too bad. Lisa says B. Time travel, leaving logic behind. A beautiful and haunting look at possibilities.
Yeah.
A love letter to all loves lost due to choices made.
Mhm.
Hope, a gift from Odo to Odo for his unrequited love, Kira.
Yeah, and why do
Unrequited
they
no
have to
longer.
bump uglies? Wouldn't they want genetic diversity? So there would be some artificial insemination going on there to keep everyone, unrelated, right? Right? So, I don't know.
I don't think Odo has any uglies. Hungry Boy says, D. Ugh. So talky. Such a retread of so many other things better done before. Quantum days of our time loop lives. But at least the King Kull Khazar Klingons, yeah, they do look like King Kull Khazar Klingons. I like that. Were a treat. Though, yeah, that part was good. Though I really don't like the Odo admission of Amorpha Kira done in this way. Felt like a cheap trick to hurry things along.
Mm-hmm.
Indeedishness. A cheap trick song, too. But Nana and Renee were spectacular in this. All the acting was A+. Yeah, they're always really good. They're some terrific actors. The sociological, anthropological stuff was primo. Time is their enemy. So I bumped this from an F- to a D. What's a fair cop?
Yeah.
It's a fair cop, but society is to blame. Agreed, we'll be charging them too. Classic Comics says grade D-. I think it means minus. Not much to say about this one other than it's forgettable. Pretty contrived time travel story, which was becoming a tired trope at this point.
Right?
I never fully bought into the Kira Odo romance.
Have you seen them kiss?
Yeah.
Have you seen them kiss? It looks
guess
so
so.
odd. It's just odd and icky. It just makes you feel very icky.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Max Redstone, the great Limerick man, says F now or 200 years ago. Because, see, they existed, but then they didn't exist. They existed. Sorry. Every time you mention 200 years.
On me.
Is that a cheap trick song? No, it isn't. But since this crap existed, see, they existed. They use the word existed, and it just messes me up. Sorry. Here's song. Wait, okay, but since this crap existed, here's song. You need to sing it. Kira, give me an answer true. Kira.
Yeah, that's fair.
Give me an answer true. I'm half crazy of the love of you. Sorry. Not sorry. Hal. Open the pod bay doors, Hal, and then throw this episode out of it. We don't need a church or steeple. I deleted 8,000 people, but we don't need a church or steeple. I deleted 8,000 people.
Right?
But you are sweet, and we should meet in a runabout made for two.
Wow.
Greatness
that is
for the great.
very, very good, Max.
Well
Yeah,
done,
Simply
Max.
Steve, I totally agree. It's a very creepy kiss. Very creepy.
Yes.
Same when she was making out with the priest. I didn't enjoy that either. I was like, ew.
Wendy and Jimmy, I missed this the episode, but it sounds like a toothpick episode. I mean, needed to poke my eyes out. No, don't bother. Keep your eyes intact, and by not watching the episode will help as well. Phantom Outsider says A+. I love it. It's my favorite episode. I don't want to hear any bad things about it. No, he says C. Only because C for Catwoman. Only because I understand divergent timelines. Defiant meets these people. They existed, but they didn't exist. But it was like these people, meaning a Defiant did crash in the past. Odo ensures the current Defiant does not crash. The fact that you're killing me here, helped, but it didn't crash. Now, even though it did, but it didn't, but it did, but it didn't, but it.
Clappy, come back. You can blame it all on me.
On Fanty. Fanty's about to get. He's about to get a cluboni in the face.
Let's put him in the agony booth. Everybody put Fanty in the agony booth.
Showed he and they existed. When the Defiant escapes, they are no longer in this timeline. So the Defiant is now in a divergent future, and the 8,000 people still are alive and well in the timeline where you're man, dude. You're killing me. The Defiant actually crashed, so no one ceased to exist. They continue on, but in a different timeline, so they can have their cake and eat it too. So they exist, but they never existed.
Look, if there was cake, I would have actually liked this episode. There was no cake.
Maybe
Liar
need
pants.
cake. Maybe need cake. F, says the great Chris Persia. Yedrin Dax. You'll find the Dax symbiote right here. The symbiote is passed down to Jadzia's descendants for 3 generations. Where they come from? Direct quote: raspberries to the power infinity. Yeah. Yep. How did they get? You have to have trills for that. There was no trill for her to breed with. Michael Beacom, page 430. Excuse me, 453. For a Bergenois, he wasn't entirely happy with the way the Gain version of Odo demonstrated the depths of his love. I'm not really sure of it or what kind of message it sent. Yeah, boy, is that an understatement? Our final review of this by the great chief engineer Mark D with the C. He says, F, please no more time travel. The story starts with an interesting idea. The catch is that the crew doesn't time travel until they leave the planet so they can then meet their descendants. You ever notice also they time, this is the second time they were all on the damn same ship of the Defiant when they time traveled, except one of them was good. The story goes off the rails with the raspberry-inducing love story between Odo and Kira. The Trill was her own descendant? I don't know. Was there enough genetic diversity? I don't know.
Oh, this is what I was saying. What did they do? Did they pull an egg out of her and like I don't know. But say something.
I guess maybe at least explain it. Odo's decision to wipe out everyone was terrible. Ron Moore said that he was the opposite of Kirk, who sacrifices Keeler to save the universe. Yeah. I'll stick to the song "Child Time" by Deep Purple. Yeah, I mean, he sacrificed one person who was supposed to die initially anyway.
How deep is your love?
Let's get this episode out of here.
Let's do it.
Let's get the hell out of here. All right. So next episode, ladies and gerbils.
Shot down
in a blaze of glory.
Blaze of glory, Folkers.
By the way, this episode
5.
exists and it exists. How about that? There we go.
Clubby, come back. You can blame it all on me. Okay. Blaze of Glory is season 5, episode 23. It is prod code 521, and we all watched this for the very first time on May 12th. 1997. Now I'm going to read from Wikipedia, and the write-up's probably going to stink, but we need to do the summary so that we have a jumping off point. So let's jump off. Captain Sisko receives a recording of an intercepted message. a few surviving Maquis terrorists who have not been wiped out by Cardassia's Dominion allies have launched a massive retaliatory missile strike against Cardassia. The missiles are believed to be equipped with a cloaking device, and unless they are stopped, Sisko fears the Dominion response will envelop the entire quadrant in an all-out war. Sisko goes to the message's intended recipient, Michael Eddington, now in prison. Eddington refuses to tell Sisko how to stop the missiles, so Sisko takes Eddington with him to compel him to help. Upon entering the Badlands, a dangerous region of space where the Maquis hid out, that should be hideout. Eddington is still uncooperative. Sisko traps him into taking over the runabout's controls to evade two pursuing Dominion warships. Why were they in a runabout? We'll get to that later. Eddington finally agrees to help Sisko find the launch site to deactivate the missiles, but vows to kill him afterwards. Aw, he's so nice. Meanwhile, in a side plot back on Deep Space Nine, Cadet Nog earns the respect of the Klingon soldiers on the station by learning to stand up to them. Wow. Sisko and Eddington arrive on Alphos 4, a tiny fog-bound planet where the launch site is hidden. Upon landing on the planet, they discover the facility is crawling with Jem'Hadar, the Dominion soldiers, with many of the Maquis dead. Eddington is shocked and stunned. Shocked! Stunned! The Maquis had been on the verge of declaring their colonies an independent nation from both Starfleet and the Cardassians. Sisko admits that Starfleet let the Maquis down. Sisko and Eddington fight their way to the command center, where Sisko is surprised to find a dozen Maquis prisoners, including Eddington's wife, Rebecca Sullivan. Eddington reveals that there are no missiles at all. Rebecca sent the message as a code to let Eddington know they had fallen back to Alphos 4. Eddington knew he would need Sisko's help to evacuate them and manipulated him in order to reach the location. Sisko was furious at being lied to, but relieved that all-out war is no longer imminent. He and Eddington fight off the Jem'Hadar while directing the prisoners toward the runabout. But Eddington is shot. Ow, that hurt. Insisting Sisko and others continue on without him. Go on without me. Go on without me. Eddington stays behind to fend off the soldiers while talking to himself, and then he's killed. I added that part. Don't care. Boss, what did you think of Shot Down in a Blaze of Glory?
Well, I guess we
got a present from Michael Beacom.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, thank you, Michael Beacom. Thank you. Appreciate that. $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. He says, couldn't review last 2 eps this week. I have a long early car trip to Comic-Con tomorrow. Cool.
Oh,
so
nice.
Must call tonight. Early lurk from bed. Be seeing you. My good friend, thank you so much. And I hope you and Cassandra have a wonderful day tomorrow and have a great time at the con tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go, yeah. I guess we should all be thankful that it's kind of getting close anyway to putting the cap on the Maquis for us. I'm one of those few that actually likes Eddington, so I thought some of the stuff between, I think the only thing that I really kind of took away from the episode that was any sort of mild enjoyment was him and Sisko, the interaction between the two, but I don't find it to be a particularly compelling or interesting story. And all the Nog crap, I can give 2 craps about. I thought it was ludicrous and annoying. And so I ain't got a lot to say about it. At least it exists, though, and nobody stops existing except Eddington. At least he never existed that did not exist.
You can blame it all on me.
But yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say. It won't take me near as long to talk about this one as that last one. And so, so long, Maquis. I won't miss you. And like I said, don't let the door hit your ass. So, got nothing. Go for notes.
Okay, arguing and fighting and yelling and war speeches. This is not my favorite thing to watch. More yelling, arguing, fighting, and war speeches. Not my favorite thing to watch. Again, with the decibels, 70 decibels isn't disturbing the peace. That's slightly louder than an air conditioner, an old dishwasher, a restaurant, being in a running car. Shouting starts at about 90 dB. So, talking is like 60, 65, and you're in a restaurant. A noisy restaurant could be over 100. So, dumb. Like, just go and look at a decibel chart. The only reason why I know this is because I was in radio and I had to take audio. You know what I mean? If you go into radio, you have to take several classes in audio tech. But just go and pick up a chart, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? I had to study it in college. You could just look up an infograph. You nincompoop. Nog stories. Ugh. I'm not interested in the soul searching of terrorists. And that's what the heart of this story is. So I wrote that down. I'm not interested in the soul searching of a terrorist. How would Eddington forget the Jemadar can cloak? I hate that he says that when they're down in the cave. He's like, "Oh, I'm so happy that you remembered that they can cloak. I would have been killed." What?
That's ridiculous. DJ Ronnie G, good to see you. Welcome.
DJ Ronnie G.
That was silly. Yeah.
Yeah, just absolute, poppycock. Cisco would very easily be overwhelmed by these Maquis. There are a number of them. I highly doubt that people who were in the Maquis are just going to go quietly to prison with Cisco. It's just ridiculous. They would take off. They would go and live their lives. They would go find some quiet little planet and retire peacefully. It makes no sense that they all just line up and go to prison. Why? Hello? Is this thing on? Hello? Why? That doesn't make any sense. Cisco uses a biogenic weapon on them one week and is cheering for them the next. So at the very end, we see him cheering for them, even though they all went to prison, and even though he used a biogenic weapon on them. They don't harm him for using a biogenic weapon on them. They don't try and overrun him, although there's like 40 of them and there's only him. It's just, why?
Such weak tea.
Why? This is some weak sauce. This sauce is very weak. I spit on you.
Nice.
I don't want your sauce. Take your sauce and...
I can't even work up that much energy for this episode.
Yeah, me neither.
It's just... It happened and it ended and it was... good night. Chris Persia's leaving, I believe.
What? Get out of town. Chris Persia, I love you.
Take it easy, buddy.
Good night, honey. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the beautiful show poster, for just being an amazing friend, for supporting me on my Patreon and helping me like with my book and stuff like that. I love you so much, Chris. Thank you, sweetheart. Mwah, mwah.
Take care, man.
So
yeah, look, we'll make quick work of this one. How about that?
Yeah, boss.
Let's go for it.
I'm weary.
Let's get the job done. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least you're done with the Maquis.
Yeah, it's a raspberry beret, just like Larry said. So, yeah, this is neither divine nor disgusting, but it is dumb. There's so much dumb in this. It's a C-, boss.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you on that one. I'm just kind of glad to get it over with at this point. So I'll go with a C- also. That's kind of whatever. It's just like I said, there's a lot worse ones out there. Boy howdy, but it's not particularly great either. And again, when you have one main story and a B- story or whatever, that's also not compelling and it's just silly nog crap, which gets on my nerves a lot. I don't have a whole lot for it, so yeah, I'm gonna go with that soon. Now, everyone, I'll ask for your ratings and any reviews you may have or words you may have about Blaze of Glory. And while Raquel, our first officer is collecting those, I will bring us some Max Redstone entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, another limerick by the great Maximum Redstone. Blaze of Glory. So we come to the Maquis epilogue. Cisco and Eddington go to a planet of fog. The cloaked missiles were frauds, so Maquis survived against odds. And Martok calls Rom's son Mr. Nog. Wow. Nicely done, as always. The great Max Redstone. Top-notch stuff, buddy. Let's see here. All right. So, Wendy and Jimmy, Trauma Warriors, say D. May 12th, 1997. I was stationed in Germany. I had a lot of fun that night. YouTube will not allow me to discuss. Whoa, nice. May 13th, 1997. I got yelled at by my commanding officer, which is a much better story. I take it much better story than this episode and probably many others. Thank you, Wendy and Jimmy. Appreciate you. Lisa, the lovely Lisa. Wow. Says F. For Cisco, who thought he was manipulating, but he was being manipulated. C. For Eddington, who completely tricked Cisco to have his wife remaining Maquis, to save his wife, his wife is remaining Maquis. Fair enough. He died a hero for a cause. Combined equal D. Thank you, Lisa. Excuse me there. Sorry about that. Coughing. So sorry. Didn't hit the button properly. The Catman, AKD Monsters Club. I give this one a solid C. Well, that's fair enough. Thank you so much. JT Kirk says 7 nuclear whistles out of 10. When Nog asked Worf and Martok to slip by, it is almost he existed. Stop saying existed. I'll get triggered. Yet in the eyes of the two Klingons, he never existed. Stop saying existed. I'm going to ban the word existed.
Bait. That's
existed,
bait. That's bait right there.
He existed, but he didn't. But he did. But he didn't.
Clubby,
Did he
come
exist?
back.
Oh,
You can blame it all on me.
blame it all on JT. I said, when Cisco deleted the shrouded Jemadar, it was as if they never existed. I'm sorry. Yet they existed. When so many Maquis were found and deleted, it was like the movie never existed. Yet it existed, but it didn't exist. No! You're existing me.
Clubby, come here. Everything will be okay.
You're de-existing me.
It's okay.
Oh, thank you so much, JT. That's good. I love JT Kirk. He rocks.
Me too. JT Kirk.
You really exist me. Pleasant Valley Picker says C. Kind of enjoyed the Cisco Eddington interaction. Yeah, I'm one of the few that actually likes Eddington because anybody pisses off Cisco that much. Not that I don't like Cisco, I just don't like the way he's written in the season sometimes. Other than that, it was meh. Still, after the last one, this is a classic. Nog B story crap like most B plots in DS9, forgettable. Yeah, I must concur. Hungry Boy C's. Rated K for at least we got Kmart Rip Torn as a Klingon again. Rip Torn. He calls, I think, so you think Hertzler is Kmart Rip Torn. Wow. Aside from that, Maquis is Macant for me. Plus, Jamadur, bah, be seeing you. There you go. There you go, buddy.
So did we get him on a layaway plan then if we got him at Kmart?
Absolutely, isn't it? The great enigmatic drop bear says, C. Why is the treasonous Eddington getting the hero send-off? I also don't buy Cisco's numerous brinksmanship tactics. At the time, he was not aware of Eddington's true motives.
Yeah.
On the plus side, I like Cisco's phaser holster. It's far superior to previous iterations. There you go. I hear you there, sir. Max Redstone says. C-. Was there a whale in this episode? I think there was. There be whales here. There she blows. Let's see here. Classic Comics says, grade C. I like the antagonistic relationship between Cisco and Eddington, but it's a bit overdone here.
Right.
The whole ruse played by Eddington and his wife. Hang
Yeah.
on. It feels a little too clever to have been set up beforehand. Like a number of plots involving Jim and him and Jake, the Nog story feels like an after-school special. Yes, and the thing is, classic. It was. Why even kill Eddington? It would have felt more original if he'd actually survived it to live and bring him back some other kind of day, maybe. But I don't know. Dave G. Sound says, "Oh yeah, that tactical thing they could do."
Yeah. Right.
That's not a okay. Scuba Pete says B, something like an afternoon delight. Eddington's gonna find his baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna grab some Badlands delight. Space rockets in flight. Gemma ready to fight. I mean, you're really messing me up. I do like that song.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
Shooter says C minus. Wow, 5 of them. Just when you thought we had seen the last of Mr. Eddington and the Maquis. Oh, and a B story with Nuggets. Okay, filler, humor driven, but it continues Nog's story. I guess if you're into that sort of thing. The enemies coming together to save the day trope just doesn't work here. Given how much resentment Cisco has to Eddington, why send him instead? Why not? I think you mean why not send him instead to say war for Otto or Odo? Anyone really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, not only that, why would you just send 2 people on a mission like that? You should have sent somebody like War for Odo with him.
And take the Defiant. The Defiant. You don't take a runabout on a mission like that.
Really dumb. Eddington sacrificing himself feels kind of empty. His past actions. Are we supposed to feel sympathy and hold him up as a hero? Treat this as redemption when it was all Mr. E's plan?
He's a mastermind. He's brilliant. He's a genius. He can tell the future.
The future, where we're going to spend the rest of our lives.
Tales of Tomorrow.
Mr. E, by the way, who's Mr. E? Who's Mr. E? I don't know. Who is Mr. E? I don't know. The worst thing about is Eddington, and what I think he means about it is Eddington taking over and over again, talking over and over again. Sorry, everything out of his mouth is disparaging of the Federation. Heard it all before, and the Maquis knew Eddington was in prison. Knew Eddington was in prison. Yeah, they did. Okay, let's see here. All right, shooter. Shouldn't Cisco have smelt something fishy? I suppose Dominion threat outweighed personal risk. Did you see the Bizite without the Benzite without a breathing apparatus? Yeah.
That happens
Strange.
often. I find it annoying. Boss man, our friend Sean Carter from Mars, he sent you a gift, and I started. It's in your Snap tab, boss.
Okay.
And it's a wonderful limerick.
All right, Sean Carter. Thank you so much for that, by the way. The $10 super chat. You were too kind, my friend. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. He says, like the Borg, the Defiant resisted, and the crew like good folks, they persisted. Old Odo with love sent them home from above, but yet it never existed. No, don't say existed. Oh, no.
Oh, that's very good.
It existed, but it's so good I should read it properly because I didn't know it was going to be a limerick thing. I wasn't sure. Here we go. The great Sean Carter. Thank you, sir. He says, like the Borg, the Defiant resisted, and the crew, like good folks, they persisted. Old Odo with love sent them home from above, but yet it never existed. That is top-notch stuff, and I thank you so much again, buddy. Really great stuff.
I feel like we should have paid him for that limerick, and yet he paid us.
I would. If it were possible, maybe one day YouTube will make it possible to pay You pay like someone go,
Right?
that's such a good limerick. I gotta pay you for it. But I don't know. I wouldn't know
Yeah.
how.
Yeah.
The great Eric K, the Bronze Wrencher says D minus. I like Eddington. Cisco either put the survivors in a concentration camp or gave them as a present to Ducat. I hope not. Wow. I wonder how much intel Cisco gave to eliminate them all everywhere, excuse me. Wow, that's harsh. But he kind of deserves it.
Deserves it. Use a biogenic weapon and
totally
suffer the
deserves it.
wrath of Eric K.
Hell yeah. Simply Steve says, I'd rather D, by the way, I'd rather have eggnog than an F with cadet nog. So boring. Eddington was clearly a failed officer. Dr. Soran must have loaned the missile cloaking device.
Yes.
Where there you go. Where they're trying to reach the Nexus. I don't know. Little generations lingo there. Fanti outsider was a man, says C. Nice that Nog stood up for himself as a Starfleet officer. Should Ellington get his hero moment? Does those cloaking cloaked missiles actually exist? Do they? I think you mean. Lol. The Marquis were a silly ideal. I'm glad they're
Gonzo. And no, Eddington isn't a hero because he lied about reading a book he never read.
Oh, did he? You think he was lying?
He was lying his butt off. He didn't even know what the story was about.
He just said it was his favorite book. Doesn't mean he read it. He just liked having it.
He didn't read it.
His favorite book to hold and look at the cover.
Liar pants.
Gone. The reason they quietly went off to jail was what else were they going to do? Fight on? Fight to the last man? Nope. Their lack of commitment doomed their movement. Slackers. All right, Fanti. Let's see here. Anti-derivative Jill, the lovely Jill, says D. So long, Maquis. The main problem with the Maquis, they are so underdeveloped that their entire cause seems too dimensional. Mm-hmm. They just don't really belong in a Star Trek story either. In relatively peacetime and peaceful times, like you mean, peaceful times, they might make sense. True. But with war ramping up, negotiations for protection on their part make more sense. But they preferred getting rolled over. Sorry, Jill. However, we hardly get to know them, and now I hardly care. As did the Federation, and such apathy does not achieve good writing. Good Star Trek writing. Yeah, well, good Star Trek writing is a lost art. And apparently it was almost one back then. Certainly one now, today, that's for sure. Dave G. Sound says, it's a C. Good part of an established story arc, social commentary, sci-fi. However, it was just for DS9 rewatch value, med. Maybe you mean meh. Let's see here. Kal-El says B+. This episode was a worthy follow-up to the last episode to feature Eddington and also shed some light onto the aforementioned character. Eddington and Cisco's discussion aboard the runabout regarding the Maquis and Eddington's actions in particular was somewhat interesting, as it showed how differently the two men saw the big picture and what role the Maquis possibly played in the decision by Cardassia to join the Dominion. Cisco, realizing that Eddington is indeed loyal to the principles by which he lives, actually humanizes both men, and Eddington's sacrifice for the greater good made him a hero, not only to the Maquis, but to a certain extent to Cisco and the others he saved through his actions as well. Overall, an enjoyable episode for the drama, worth watching as part of the ongoing narrative. Thank you so much, Kal-El, buddy. And I believe we have our final review Let's see. Oh no, one more. It's a C. Good part. Oh, okay. No, thought I nuked that one. Sorry. Thank you. Here we go. We got our chief engineer, Mark D with the C, says C plus. Finally, the end of the Maquis and DS9. Their rebellion is a flawed idea, but for Trek, but Innington's character is well written and portrayed by Ken Marshall. You have to like him. He's Canadian. That's true. That's you have to like him for that. I did. I like him. I always liked him.
No.
I did like. He does exist though. But he didn't.
No.
But he did exist. But he didn't. But he does.
No.
I did like the twist that there were no missiles and that it was a ruse to save the last of the Maquis. And what's with Cisco serving a puree of tube grubs? That's got to be worse than clam pizza. Probably. It was
I
dumb.
like how Mark tries to clear his name. But look, Mark, the fact remains. You eat sea-tongue pizza, and there's no way that is more disgusting than tube grub, whatever Cisco made.
Look at it this way. People usually pick on people for putting the pineapple on the pizza, but not around here. Not around here. You only get picked on if you put clam on pizza. So
that's right.
Clams.
Sea tongues reaching out of their shells.
Sick. Owser. So, are we ready for our final episode of the evening?
We're gonna do it.
All right. Our last episode of the night, folks, is Impact Nor.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go take medicine while you're starting that up. I'll be in just a second. It'll be your shot.
Okay, everybody,
So go for number one.
watch my 6. Let's do this. Impact Nor is Season 5, Episode 24, Prod Code 522. We all watched this for the very first time on May 19th, 1997. You put the lime in the coconut. Okay, I'm going to read from Wikipedia. It's probably going to suck. Don't worry. We'll get through it together. We'll do this together, 735ers. Chief O'Brien needs to replace a failing component of Deep Space Nine's machinery. The only way to obtain a replacement is by salvaging it from Empok Nor. You could also use a replicator, but I guess... Anyway, I inserted that. An abandoned Cardassian space station built to the same design as Deep Space Nine. The salvage team consists of O'Brien, Cardassian ex-spy Garrick, Cadet Nog, engineers Pachetti and Bokta, and security officers Stolzov and Amaro. As Cardassians routinely booby-trap abandoned facilities against non-Cardassian intruders, Garrick is brought along to help disarm the security measures, and Garrick uses the time to bring up O'Brien and his actions as a soldier on Setlik 3 against Cardassians. On the abandoned station, the team discovers 2 empty and recently deactivated stasis tubes, and a third one with a dead Cardassian soldier whose uniform marks him as a member of an elite and ruthless battalion. Suddenly, the away team's runabout detaches from the station and explodes, stranding them inside with no means to send for help and under the threat of 2 recently awoken Cardassians. I tell you, man, the writing in this is just atrocious. The team splits into groups, just like every other stupid horror movie, and continue to salvage and attempt to establish communications. The Cardassian soldiers methodically ambush and eliminate Pachetti and Stolzov. Garrick decides to go on offensive and track down the enemy soldiers himself. He returns after killing one of them and relays his discovery that the soldiers had been subject to psychotropic drugs, which amplify their natural xenophobic tendencies. The second soldier ambushes Bokta, but Garrick emerges and kills him before he can kill Amaro, only to then stab Amaro himself. Yes, folks, it's all kooky. You'll find out in a minute why. O'Brien and Nog discover Amaro, who tells them what happened before dying from his injuries. Garrick stabbed me. O'Brien realizes Garrick has been affected by the same drug as the soldiers and sets out to stop him. Garrick captures Nog, using him to draw O'Brien out. O'Brien consents to lay down his weapon and face Garrick in hand-to-hand combat, but disables him with his own trap, having rigged his phaser to explode. The three are rescued after collecting the parts they need. Back on DS9, and they're all very small. Back on DS9, O'Brien visits Garrick in the infirmary. Garrick expresses his sincere regret over his actions. O'Brien informs him there will be an inquest, but it will be made clear that Garrick was not responsible for what he did. Garrick remarks that he is just lucky the phaser blast didn't kill him, and O'Brien replies that it was intended to do exactly that. I just want everyone to know the following. Ready, everyone? Are you ready? You ready? Here you go. This episode was one of the first written by Brian Fuller, who went on to write dozens more episodes in the Star Trek franchise. Other series he wrote for include Star Trek Voyager and Star Trek The Filth. Fuller got his start as a writer through the open submission policy of Star Trek at that time, and his submission for Deep Space Nine plot was accepted. After his second script for DS9 was accepted, he was hired as a writer for Star Trek Voyager. The Filth. Big old fat poopy diaper, and we get to review it. So, boss, what did you think of the gigantic fetid diaper known as Empok Nor?
Speaking of things I wish didn't exist, wow. You know, the premise of it itself, I don't know. I don't like when you have to fit a story into a premise. What I mean by that is simply, fit a premise into a story. I got it backwards. When you decide you want to tell a story so bad, you'll throw everything out of every bit of logic out into the street, just so you can tell your little thriller horror story on the station. So the idea of itself, going to the other station to salvage stuff, is plausible, something that you could see them doing. The problem is when you start from a fundamental position of your characters doing unbelievably stupid shit, then I can't enjoy the story. For example, stupid shit number one: you go over there with just like a few people, maybe 2 or 3 security guys. That's a former Cardassian station.
In a runabout.
It makes in
a runabout.
Not the Defiant. You go over there with a few people. You don't go over there with like Worf and about 3 or 4 other top-notch security people. I mean, in fact, I think you over there with 20 guys. I think you go over there with 20 security people. You can mix it between the Starfleet security and not Nog. Starfleet security people and Bajorans, armed to the teeth with Garrick. Sure, that makes sense. But then again, you can't have your horror story if you do that. So in other words, you could have written it where found some other excuse for them to end up there at Empok Nor, perhaps. But if you're going there and you don't even plan, you throw. I just can't even. It makes me insane how stupid this episode is, because they wouldn't have been in that stupid situation. They got people killed because Sisko is. There are times. The way this thing is written, Sisko is the worst captain. He's a worse captain than Picard is sometimes. He's a worse captain than Janeway is sometimes. And I can't think of any episode where Kirk did anything this stupid. I can't think of any episode. By the way, captains have to make mistakes too, or you don't have any story. I get that. I can't think of any episode where Archer did anything this stupid. I can't think of. Maybe there's some episodes of TNG where Picard did some pretty stupid stuff. This is moronic. You sent these idiots over there in a death trap. 10 of them. What was it? 10 of them? 5 and 9 of them with Nog. So you can have your silly little, manipulative little horror story, little thriller, and it just the whole time I'm watching it, I can watch a lot of things and be entertained and even go, that's pretty silly, but it's kind of well done. This is not that well done, because I'm just sitting there the whole time thinking how stupid everything is. From get-go, your premise is moronic. The idea of going to the station was fine. The way it was executed. Go ahead with your notes, number one, because I can't take it.
Well, big shocker here, folks. The Filth author. They go there and they turn on all the lights, but it's still dark.
And it's still dark.
O'Brien's entire crew is Starfleet, but not a single person in his crew has a pip. Why? Where are the pips? These are members of Starfleet. He brings over an entire like little crew from engineering, and none of them have any pips. Why? This is a thriller. This is a scary movie where the killer takes them out one by one. They separate, people fall down and die. This is a whole show of murders. This is cheap and stupid, and Gene Roddenberry would have hated it. It's so much better when this kind of stuff happens with all the lights on, because you're not using the typical horror tropes. What you're doing is showing how the emptiness and sterility of this type of technology would be terrifying. So Star Trek goes in the exact opposite direction of this kind of BS. It doesn't shut off all the lights and start killing people one by one. I doubt throughout this entire episode, every single time I watch it, that all of this equipment, all of these supplies would be left to drift in space. It just doesn't make any sense. I'd like to know, where are the Packlids? Where are the Orions? Certainly the Orions would definitely bypass any type of security measures the Cardassians have. Where are the Nausicaans? Where are the Nausicaan pirates? Where are they? And why haven't they taken Empok Nor? Where are the Breen? I mean, this is what the Breen do. So where are the Packlids? Where are the Orions?
Right.
Where are the Nausicaans? Where are the Breen? Where are all of these salvage experts? And certainly even where is the Cardassian salvage teams? This should be taken to a boneyard. It should be taken apart and used again. So it's more of this non-science fiction author trying to write science fiction and actually writing a thriller horror. So this is like one of those dead teenager movies that I hate. This is dark, it's un-Star Trek, and it's nothing more than a killing spree. And it's written by a disco filth person. It sucks. It's stupid. It's bad. I'd like to erase it from my memory. This is complete and utter shite. And why are they in a runabout again? And where are all the people back in them? You brought Nog, knee-high to a grasshopper Nog with you to go and fight Cardassians, giant lizard people? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No. No, I say good day. No.
Yeah. Everything about this episode doesn't make any sense. Your very premise, you have to suspend so much. And again, great performances as always, because I love Garrick as much as the next guy. This idiocy about him being, him acting against his will, then later, but at the end of the episode, of course, he's fine. He's perfect. And who cares what he did? That was not really him. He wasn't in control of it. I'm just so tired of that kind of trope. Like the character turns bad for an episode, but by the end of the episode, it was some kind of drug or something that did it, and he's perfectly fine after that. It's like,
yeah, but Admiral Teague is like me. Okay, so Admiral Teague, you're hearing what I'm saying, and you're receiving it fully and completely.
No, I got you.
I totally agree with you, Admiral Teague, and that's exactly what I'm thinking too. Why didn't we have like a Packlid presence on board and something quite sinister happening, or the Orions and having the Orion Syndicate there?
Right.
Or them encountering Nausicaans, or the Breen are there, and we learn more about the Breen. Anything, and leave all of the lights on, because that's the creepiest thing about outer space, is the sterility and the lack of the gothic horror elements. It's the whole HAL scenario. You're in a whiteout condition, and what you are receiving in return, it bears no emotion. There is no emotion. It's a calculated slaughter. This was just a simple pandering of a horror film. Horror films are not good. I'm sorry if you people like them. I think horror films suck. A bunch of idiots get together. They go to a dark place. They all fall down. They all get killed one by one, and they definitely always split up, because it's the only way to survive, and then they all die. It's crap. This is crap.
I hate this episode.
Crap, right, HB? This is crap. This is horror, HB. This is not science fiction. It's not science fiction.
The Tetrarch of Apathy. Hello there. Welcome. Good to see you. Yeah. It's just like you said, just a horror episode. Not any particularly compelling. Like I said, it makes no sense. They do all the horror crap in there where they all separate, get picked off. And there's some interesting stuff between O'Brien and Garrick. If you like, again, doesn't matter because I'm watching it going, this is just not what this is never what I signed up for Star Trek for. I don't need this in Star Trek.
Like, I was waiting to hear that sound that the knife makes when the person is being killed. You know, like,
Yeah.
like you're just waiting for that. You know, like, I'm surprised that we didn't have the Halloween mask. I think is it the Halloween mask? I always get my horror movies mixed up. But the Shatner one is Halloween.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's that.
Shatner one, yeah.
And this Brian Fuller nincompoop. This is the beginning of his smearing of poopy diapers on Star Trek. He just took his own diaper, he took it off and smeared it on Star Trek for us. And I, for one, am not grateful. He can keep it to himself. Do you know what I mean? Keep it to yourself.
Well, I don't know if I ever watched any episode that he wrote that I liked, but we'll see, I guess. But yeah, not this one. So what is your rating of Impact Noir?
This is an F. I wish it didn't exist. I wish it had never existed.
Yeah.
It is complete and utter shite. This is not Star Trek. This isn't even the stuff that scares Star Trek people. Like, people who watch Star Trek are not afraid of this. Ooh, it's dark. Oh, the teenagers are going to split up. Reggie, do you have any gooey snacks? Like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? This isn't Saturday morning cartoons. We're freaked out by sterility. We're freaked out by emotionalist technology. We're freaked out by aliens that have no feelings, that will just eviscerate you. This was just dumb. It's a stupid horror movie. It's stupid.
Are you saying they wouldn't have got away with it, not for those meddling Starfleet people?
This is what I mean. You know,
what is your rating?
It's an F.
F. I concur. I'm giving it an F just for being stupid and unbelievably ridiculous idea of sending. They basically got a bunch of innocent people killed because it was stupid. It's just, those people were dead because of idiocy, because they should never have been there with not enough people to back them up, with not enough firepower, watching their back, like a bunch of guys watching, a bunch of security people with them. And then, but that takes away your silly, stupid horror drama that you want to do.
Yeah.
Brian Fuller. In other words, if they did it logically with a bunch of security people all armed to the teeth while these guys are picking up all the stuff they need, as soon as one of these crazy Cardassian killers shows up, they can blast them to nothing and it's over. And it solves the problem.
Yeah, and
nobody
imagine
dies.
if all the lights are on and you're walking down these corridors and you use the techniques that Gene Roddenberry used by using mirrors to make the corridors seem as though they were endless. And then you yell down the hallway, hello? Hello? And there's no one there. And we don't find out until it's the Nausicaans picking people off one by one because they're there to salvage stuff off the ship or whatever. I don't mind small horror aspects. Clobby, you and I talk about this a lot off of air, which is that TOS had some truly scary episodes, especially if you watched them when you were a kid like I did. And so it's not that I don't accept or acknowledge that there is some horror or a different form or type of horror in science fiction. I fully embrace it. It's just that this was one of those stupid dead teenager movies. I hate this crap, boss man. Captain, I hate this crap.
I understand you. And again, my biggest thing is I hate the setup because, like I said, even if you wanted to contrive a way for very few people from the crew being like, Garrick and O'Brien and Nog and a couple others ending up on Impact Nor, you could have come up with a better excuse. In other words, they're flying near it, something happens, they realize that the only place they can go because their ship is damaged by something. Oh, hey, look, that's Impact Nor there. It's abandoned. As dumb as that would be, at least you have an excuse for a few of them to be on there. Then the jeopardy and the danger is at least more understandable because they had no choice.
Mhm.
They went there. And what's the first thing that happens when these morons go onto this thing is that the runabout's just thrown out and just puts up the station and then blown up. And they're like, oh, well, that's inconvenient. Let's just go on with our merry way and do all of our crap. And we don't have a ship anymore. That's like it was no big. As soon as the runabout gets blown up, I'm like, and they start acting like it's no big deal. I'm like, this episode I can't take it seriously anymore. It's absolutely idiotic.
Yeah, and give me a reason, at least attempt to be a science fiction author by dropping a few sentences to keep me engrossed, to keep the suspension of belief. Let's stay in the pretend. And so I need you to say things at the beginning like, it's a part that we can't replicate because it contains blah, 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 blah chemical or blah, 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 blah metal, which is only found on this particular planet. So we can't replicate this, but it would be much easier for us. And if we just went and retrieved it from, Empok Nor. The thing is that these drama people fail to understand is that science fiction people have expectations of science fiction. They want to be edified by science fiction. They want to hear math. They want to hear statistics. They want to hear, information. They want to be engaged in an intelligent way over the material. And yeah, I just don't understand how these drama people get away with this crap. Why do people buy their shite, Clubby? It's not even science fiction. It's crap.
Total. Everyone, you can start with your reviews now. By the way, we both given it an F. But yeah, no, I can't. Everything about it aggravates me. So
also, can I please say thank you for giving me the phrase "stupid dead teenager movies" because that is like the best way to label it ever in the entire universe. So everyone at home, I totally stole that saying from Clobby, but they're like, it's the best saying ever. Dead teenager or stupid dead teenager movies.
Yeah, I didn't say dead teenager movies, but yeah.
Yes.
So while you're starring those, I will go with our Max Redstone Entertainment folks. Thank you again to the great Maximum Redstone. Here we go. Impact Nor by Impact Nor, that is, by the great Max Redstone. Here we go, folks. A spare part situation to avert. On a mission where no one should get hurt. Things turn psychoactive. Garrick takes Nog as a captive and tries to have Chief O'Brien for dessert. Nice stuff. Thank you. The big shout out to the great Maximum Redstone for that extraordinary limerick. So here we go. Let's see what our reviews have to say. Dave G. Sound says B minus. Aliens. Aliens again, yeah, but with Garrick. The duality between Taylor and Tinkerer plays out with poor Nog relegated to the role of damsel in distress and recalled as a quip in a later episode. Thank you so much, Dave G. Anti-Derivative Jill, our lovely communications officer, says F. A fun engineering fetch mission descends into a dark, psychotic, drug-addled horror story with possibly the worst Garrick episode of the series. Uninspiring, vile, agreed, Raquel. This is proto-filth. Right there with you.
Love you, honey. Thank you.
There you go. C minus, says the great Max Redstone, because I love Garrick. Here is a quote from Sling Blade that is about 500 times more intelligent than Brian Fuller's writing. I like them French fried potatoes. Mustard's get on to me. You like Sling Blade? You ever seen Sling Blade, Raquel?
I think I did when it first came out.
Some call it a Kaiser blade. I call it a Sling Blade. Maybe I think next week, Max Redstone, we should do the whole show talking like this. A Sling Blade. Yeah, I like that movie. French fried potatoes. I'll put mustards on them.
More food? Stop talking about food. I'm starving.
Sorry. I love that. That's a great movie. Shooter says B-. Watch out for the xenomorphs in the Jeffries tubes. The sci-fi trope of alien doesn't work in Star Trek, but I can't help but enjoy it despite its flaws. Yep, I'm a horror fan. Even though I don't like horror movies, I'm not as mean to them as Raquel is. I just don't really like too many of them. And it's not so much horror movies, but I hate dead teenager movies, or even not just dead teenager movies. Any movie that requires the people to do really stupid shite, or you don't have a movie. And that's the same with Star Trek, by the way. And if the characters have to do really stupid shit to have a story, then you don't have a story. So that's what I hate. I hate any story which requires your characters to be really stupid and out of character.
Yes, and like Larry said, they're often trying to bump uglies. Larry is right about that.
Who is?
In those dead teenager movies, they're always trying to bump uglies, or they die while they're bumping uglies. Larry's right about that.
They're teenagers. They don't even have uglies. So I always find it odd the Impact Nor is shown on a tilted axis.
Yeah, there is no.
Oh, yeah, it's silly.
It's
why booby trap a facility instead of destroying it, repositioning it, or dismantling it? Just seems strategically weak.
And a waste of resources. I mean, everything is in perfect working order. Huh?
I stand under, for sure. I love the engineers going off to alter the station systems while trapped, but it wasn't the best idea to split up. Should have kept up with those Kardashians, kept up. I see what you did there, buddy. At least Miles acknowledges this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Some of the banter between Garrick and Miles, I did kind of found a little interesting just because I like the actors, by the way. But at the start, Garrick reflects on how he, a former Cardassian spy, is becoming a trusted part of the DS9 family. The episode is a harsh reminder that Garrick is very dangerous.
Yeah, that foreshadowing is something else, isn't it? It's like, here's some foreshadowing. I'm going to sledgehammer you over the head with this foreshadowing. Hey, I'm Garrick. Everyone trusts me now. I'm going to kill everyone.
It was so over the top. It really was. Garrett taunting O'Brien about Setlick 3 works well in setting up the finale as an epic showdown. The psychotropic drug is also an interesting premise that works well. All right, Shooter, thank you so much for that, sir.
Shooter.
Pleasant Valley Peacock gives it a D. Sung to the song by Talking Heads, Psycho Killer. I don't know if I know that one.
Psycho Killer.
Psycho Garrett.
There
you go. Anyway. No, Psycho Garrett was fun. And he had some fun moments with Miles. Still, overall, it was pretty bad. Thank you, P. All righty. The great J.T. Kirk says F-. Wow. Rossism, Goss? Seriously? Was some Rossism there? Goss. Who's Goss? Who's gas? Rossism, gas? I don't know. I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah, well, because the entire premise is xenophobia. So they give them a pill that makes, or gives them gas that makes them xenophobic. I
got you. That's right. They sure did. Okay.
So he's dead to right on that one.
That's pretty silly. Why can't Starfleet replicate a 3D printer to make these vital parts? Yeah, that's something that's always irritated me about this. Garrett kills Amaro, but pays no price upon his return. Yeah. Leave the cadet on the station. Impact snore. Very good points there, JT.
JT Kirk. Larry, it was bad. It was bad.
Classic Comics. Classic Comics says grade C minus. Trying to do a genre switch to a horror style. I don't mind Star Trek branching out to do different things, but it still needs to be told in an intelligent way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Too much in this episode is poorly thought out. Odd that the Cardassians just left the station abandoned. The group is poorly manned. The group is poorly manned. There should have been more security for the mission.
Yeah, and people can say, oh, well, Nog has training and he's got a gun and all this other stuff. But, bottom line is they get there. And we know that there are some species that in the Bible, in the show Bible, are naturally really large. And that includes the Cardassians, that includes the Klingons, and that includes Nausicaans. And I'm sorry, like, as much as I want to say, oh, like Nog can handle himself, Nog is knee high to a grasshopper. He comes up against a Nausicaan. What's going to happen to him? Or even the Orion Syndicate. Have you seen how big the guys are in the Orion Syndicate? Like,
Yes.
they're going on a salvage mission in a runabout with a guy knee high to a grasshopper who's a cadet to protect them.
You bring
Come
heavily armed troops.
Come on.
Something like that. Lisa says, F. Cardassians drugged in space, bad idea. Blown up ship, oopsie. Garrick gone wild. Great character and acting, but the whole episode was trash.
Yes.
Feisty little Nog makes for a great doorstop hug.
Every week that Lisa, I am so happy that Lisa started to join in here and that she decided to join in here is what I mean to say, because I absolutely love her reviews. That is exactly how I feel. The kid is a doorstop. I love it. Anyway, I love you, Lisa. I love you, Lisa.
The great Eric K. The Bronze Wincher says C minus. Sucker for Garrick and the Chief. Not bringing a ship with a crew to get this done. Stupid. Why didn't they scan the ship for Cardassians or any other life forms?
Oh, Classic Comics is saying Gorns. Hey, don't forget us, Raquel. I wasn't aware that the Gorns did that. That pirateering. I didn't know that they did that sort of thing. I know that the Breen and the Nausicaans do it, and I know the Packlids do it, and obviously I know the Orion Syndicate does it. But I did not know that the Gorn are salvage or pirate.
No, it's never been established that I know of. But
yeah.
Another one for DJ Ryan. I thought we missed one. That's way down at the bottom though. It was more fun to watch during the first viewing, not a big brain story. Okay, yeah. I'm sure, absolutely. Hungry Boy says, rated T for thank God Andy Garrick is back. Also T for too much Nog. But with this Garrick dialogue, 1.5 Hordas, Burgies out of 5, but one Hordaburg. I mean Hordas burgers. I think he means Hordaburgers. Okay, but one extra Horder for the homages to Alien 1979, the original, but also reminiscent of the misnamed Planet of the Vampires. So an extra Horda in the rating for me. Sad to end this week on this ep. Lol, indeed, sir. And away it goes sometimes, buddy. The great enigmatic Drop Bear says D. Andrew Robinson reprises his Scorpio role in this cliche-laden knockoff from the slasher genre.
Yeah.
Yep.
Slasher. That's the great way. That's the perfect way to describe the genre.
Yeah,
slasher.
It is slasher genre. Yeah. I still like Dead Teenager. They're not.
Yeah, Dead Teenager works.
They're not teenagers in this case. Dead Teenager movies refers to slasher movies of the 80s. They're all of those are Dead Teenager movies.
Yeah.
The Cardassians seemingly lost control of their MK Ultra experiment, so put their infected test tube trio on ice and abandoned the station. That's a good reference. It's an odd a form of quarantine where the infected subjects are biohazard remain as a booby trap. What happens to the trio, now duo, after the booby trap is sprung and the invaders are eradicated?
It's the first thing you think of.
True enough. Do they go back into status on their own of their own accord, or are the Cardassian military notified and return to reset the trap?
Mm-hmm.
Good question. Impact Nor is located in the Trivias system, formerly in Cardassian space. The Dominion now in play, and Cardassia's burgeoning hegemonic designs, it should be inaccessible for a Starfleet runabout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why they should have went into Defiant with the cloaking guys, if they were going at all. Very good points. Thank you so much, the great enigmatic drop bear. Greatness as always, sir.
Yes.
D minus says simply Steve 68. Fuller shite.
Right?
Defunct Kardashian sci-fi. It was an Impact bore to me. Nog Ep again. Ugh, no kidding.
Right?
Writers send the least qualified away teams and rescued Hal. Their runabout was destroyed. No emergency beacons.
Yes.
And then they just acted like, oh, well, we're okay. We're fine.
Business
the
as
runabout was
usual.
destroyed. So what? It was destroyed. Oh, my God.
And they don't even communicate anything to DS9.
No, because they can't. They got to go find some way to. You have to go fix something to call them. It's just why it's so stupid. Everything was stupid in this episode. Kal-El. Wow, this is unprecedented, unheard of. 2 Fs in one show. He's never even given 1 F that I remember. Now it's 2 tonight. Crazy. F, he says, the great Stephen M. Kal-El. This was an attempt at a suspense-filled episode of the series, and a poor one at that. The episode uses several tired yet familiar elements from the horror film genre, and its ending was hardly surprising. A reason is manufactured as to why the chosen crew must go to the abandoned station, and Garak is the only one, since he's Cardassian, that can help them navigate the booby traps. He then becomes the threat to the remaining members of the team on Impact Nor, and then it turns out he was influenced by the psychotropic drug. This episode was indeed a precursor to the filth. It was a horror episode by the numbers, and certainly not a good fit for Star Trek DS9 or otherwise. Yes, indeed, Cal. I'm totally right there with you, buddy.
Totally agree. This is the kind of crap writing that needs to be done away with. It's complete crap.
Absolutely. And to call him Scuba, please says D plus. O'Brien Doobie Doo. O'Brien Doobie Doo, where are you? Pachetti and Bogta got some work to do now. Pachetti and Bog got some work to do now. Nog, we need some help from you now. O'Brien Doobie Doo, Garrett's trying to kill you. He's all pretending he's got a fever. Thank you or something, boy. Thank you so much. Linrod says, I rate it Q for questionable everything.
Right, Lynn?
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Dave
so bad.
G. Sound says, you're right. Isn't a NOR class station about the size of a downtown Manhattan? Sending a rowboat with 8 folks to search, that seems an odd choice.
Okay,
it is
so
big.
This isn't a review,
Indeed.
but I wanted it starred because I know that we have some engineers here, and I also know that some of those engineers who are here are actually also experts in many of the ships and designs. So I really love that Dave G. Sound brought that up, and I wanted to draw attention to it in case anybody wanted to have some follow-up comments in the chat with regard to that, because, yeah, the size of Manhattan with a runabout and Nog. Nog is protecting you. So you're going into a burning building, and there's somebody there who weighs about 90 pounds. and that person who's 90 pounds is going to save those 8 people? No. You're going up against the Orion Syndicate. You're going up against Nausicaans. Oh my gosh, no. This is a very serious mission that requires like a team, a security team. Yeah, really bad, and scary, and not good at all. Everyone could have been killed, and everyone was killed. So dumb.
This should be our final review of the night, folks. The great chief engineer, Mark D with a C, says B-. I like the give and take between Garrick and O'Brien in this episode, which gave some good insights into their characters and how they have grown. Lots of obvious flaws in this episode. By the way, Mark, pop in if you feel like it, whenever you want to. If you hear me, buddy. Who leave a perfectly good space station drifting in space.
Yeah.
Let's only bring a few security guards since the rest won't arrive until Tuesday.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yep.
Nog has to count for at least 5 guards.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. At least Nog took his job seriously while the others got picked off. I liked this exchange. Garrick, maybe it's true. Maybe you're not a soldier anymore. O'Brien, you're right. I'm an engineer. He is that.
Yeah, and let's be frank here too. Like Nog is a cadet. Right? Nog's a cadet. You're not going to bring in the tiniest cadet you can find to protect people, to protect an away team that is on an enemy vessel.
Hey everyone, yeah, I agree. Or you'd bring, like 30 or 40 security guards and have Nog in the back and say, "Hey, once everything's safe, we'll show you how we, take over a station." But yeah,
and why couldn't we involve the Ferengi here insofar as why can't we acquire these parts another way? Why can't we replicate these parts? What makes these parts different, and why do they have to be salvaged? Because we have all of this beautiful equipment capable of accomplishing many things, and we also have this resource in Quark. Quark can, he can fill an entire cargo bay with self-sealing stem bolts. So let's find out why we're doing this. And this is what happens when you have a nincompoop drama person writing science fiction. It winds up being a slasher episode. Ridiculous.
One thing I wanted to mention too, because I know I still haven't gotten you the book, but one point they mentioned too was when you hear the Spoonhead quote, and there's a lot of controversy about that. So I just want to read a paragraph on that from the book, or paraphrase it. But he said there was a different, and this is from the block text. There was a different bit of audio embellishment that startled the producers when they viewed the episode. In the sequence where Garrick is stalking the second Kardashian soldier, we hear 2 Starfleet officers talking to each other in the background. We added a bunch of dialogue that we were told wasn't going to be heard and would just sound like murmur, murmur, murmur. The writers came up with a short soliloquy about his dead part of Solsoff, ending with his comment about wanting to kill the Spoonhead who got her. But they were surprised when the line turned out to be clearly audible in the soundtrack. I mean, here was a Starfleet officer basically making a racist slur without being commented on or corrected.
Yeah.
Says F. Chavarro. He kind of just tosses it off, but it was intentional. Ironically, if the line had been scripted, it might not have survived the episode. Although the expression had been introduced to viewers early in the season, things passed. It was used by non-Starfleet personnel. Knowing Gene Roddenberry's strong feelings about the lack of racial prejudice in that august organization, someone on staff was bound to have called the slur into question had they known about it in advance. However, when we add background dialogue, it doesn't go through the usual channels. Ira didn't read it, Rick didn't read it, because it wasn't meant to be heard. Once they did hear it, though, the decision was made to leave the line alone. Although not appropriate, it was understandable given the context. Amoro's been through a bad day at the hands of the Cardassians, who sort of forgive him, says Chavarro. It was racist, but it was also very real, so I'm glad it was in there.
Yeah, and do you see how the filth developed? because you have this
Yeah,
sort of
just about-
crap writing and this kind of crap atmosphere. But I just want to say, Cavantino Cavalryman Che says that he takes what I'm saying as an insult, because at his best of 152 pounds of lean muscle, he trained as a cavalry scout. Che, I hope you don't take it as an insult, because it has absolutely nothing to do with you. So you do not have my permission to personalize this. Nog is very clearly a child. He's a young boy who has just moved away from home for the very first time. He's a slight boy. He's quite small. And he's just a cadet. He's not an officer. And there he is protecting a bunch of Starfleet officers. That's a preposterous scenario. And no grown man should hide behind a child who's training and just learning. So you do not have my permission to personalize this and say that you're taking what I'm saying as an insult. I don't send a little boy who's in training to go and defend and protect a group of highly skilled and highly trained adults, one being an accomplished assassin. So this has absolutely nothing to do with you. So you don't have my permission to be insulted. Has nothing to do with you.
I mean, something's not an insult directed at you unless it's directed at you and you weren't mentioned. So, you know. Yeah, it's not nothing.
Well, we were making fun
there.
of Nog's size, but Raquel makes the greater point that he's a cadet. He's not on a mission, and some of the most dangerous people. My best friend who passed away was not of big stature, but he's probably the most dangerous person I ever met. You wouldn't want to get in a fight with him. So, but Nog is Nog's not trained, and that's why I said too. I could see him going on that mission as a training mission once the station was secure, and if they'd sent 40 or 50 security guards, that kind of would make sense to me. Then you'd say, this is how we, this is Starfleet protocol, this is what we're doing. But yeah, you wouldn't send someone who's still in school. I know some people in the service academies, right, or friends, or if their kids in our current service academies, and yeah, they're not, they're training, but they're not being sent on any a lot of what they're training, I have to say, is very dangerous. Obviously, you can get hurt in any military training, but they're never, they're not in, live action or not anywhere near
and
the
let's
lines
look at the
while
star
they're
dates.
while they're
The
in
star
school or
dates
while they're
2
in
weeks
academy.
before, he was complaining that he was afraid of Klingons. He didn't even want to confront or scold or admonish a Klingon on the promenade in front of everyone in the safety and security of DS9 with a whole bunch of security people around him. So this is somebody who is afraid of Klingons and is afraid of confrontation. This should not be personalized by anybody who's listening to this show or watching the show. It doesn't have anything to do with it.
Plus, with the chat, though, it's always tough when you're not directly talking to people too. To get sometimes things get muddled in the chat too. So hope you didn't hope you don't take any offense, especially if you're in the services or
And I'm sorry that I'm going to be controversial, but I'm just going to be controversial. I'm sorry. I'm a woman and I weigh a buck and a bit. I'm not a heavy set person. I'm not a particularly muscular person or anything like that. And I don't think I could go up against a Nausicaan, and it wouldn't matter how much training I have. So, I think it's quite controversial to say that somebody who is quite tiny and quite young and doesn't have the training can go up against anybody he wants if he just feels it. I think that that's the problem with the filth. I think that it lacks reality. If my house is burning down, I don't really want the tiniest person coming in and dragging me out by my feet. I think I would appreciate having somebody at least big enough, anyone, it doesn't matter who they are, big enough to throw me over their shoulder and take me out of the burning house. And if that's a controversial opinion, I'm sorry, I have controversial opinions then. But I think that if you're going to come up against a creature that is known for murdering human beings quite handily, and they're responsible for basically removing the heart from Picard, and they're 7 feet tall, and they have teeth like walruses, and you're going to send your tiniest person to fight that fight for you? I don't know. I think that's a silly conversation.
Minimus is here.
Minimus.
Now we're in trouble.
Now we're in trouble. Well, so we're done with this episode. And we're done with all 4 episodes for the evening. How about that? Little
What
look
was
at
the
next
average
week.
rating for the episodes this
They
week?
were F, pretty much F.
Did you have all
No.
Fs?
No.
I
I
can't
had 2
remember
Fs,
now.
though. But what's weird, the strangest thing is that Kal-El had 2 Fs, and that's unheard of.
Right?
He
Because
never has any
Kal-El's
Fs.
very positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough of that nonsense. So next week we will have we're gonna end the season 5, folks. Only 2 episodes to be reviewed. And then we'll have a little rap party. We'll have some friends pop in, maybe if they can, we'll see. And then we will just basically an overview of the season. We will talk about our best episodes, our worst, and basically, yeah, give it over. Yeah, it's spreadsheet time, which is I know Mark's excited about that.
Oh no!
That's why I got to get your rating.
Spreadsheet, nerd.
Spreadsheet time. Oh my goodness. Well, Max, you heading out, buddy? Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for all you did tonight, Max. Appreciate it. Look who popped in. Look who popped in. Snail Messiah.
Snail Messiah.
Hey, Snail. Oh, we have a member chat from Shooter. And he says, Al Moraine, does it exist?
Does it?
Yeah, once again, Cavantino, Cavalryman, Che, I'm not underestimating short men, or I'm not underestimating you. I'm underestimating Nog. And let's just leave it at that, okay? Like you're turning this into a big thing, and it needn't be a big thing. I don't even know you. I don't even know what your name is. Never mind making a judgment about how tall you are. Let's not get silly here. These comments aren't directed towards you or anyone else. They're directed towards the show. We're talking about a pretend show, dude. Dude.
Dude. Yeah. That look. I mean, no one's been singled out. There's no way Kelly could even know whether you're short or anything. So, no, don't worry. Yeah, don't take offense at something when she's talking about an alien character on a TV show that's a kid. So, don't worry about that. You can be good. Everything's fine. But yes. What was that? What was that? Who said? Someone asked a question on there. I lost it. Something about next week. Okay. Next week on Clobberin Times. Can it end on a good note? I don't know. We'll see.
Is it possible?
We'll see, Snail.
I think there's so many crappy episodes lately that I think folks are starting to say to themselves, is there a dignified exit for season 5?
It'll probably be a cliffhanger. It'll probably be a cliffhanger for sure.
But everyone says this show is the best Star Trek ever.
They do. A lot of people say that. I don't understand them, but does it exist? There goes Simply Steve making trouble. Does it exist? It never existed, but it existed. They existed. It never existed.
You can blame it all
exist.
on me.
I'm gonna have to ban the word exist or existed or existence. Trigger me, no, I don't you? Yes. That was a traumatic experience reviewing that episode. I hope we never have to. Oh, wait a minute, it's a time loop. We may have to review it every week.
Maybe we should just do a review of that episode
every week
in detail, like a 3-hour review.
Ew. Yeah. Ew. How many people in the chat want to see that? I'm going to say no. You can respond with ew.
It's either that or I'm going to send you clam pizza. What would you pick? See, you got to think about it. You had to think about it.
Enigmatic Dropper says, good stuff, crew. All around great reviews this week. We never fail to make good entertainment out of the poor episodes, sometimes more than the good episodes.
That's right.
Thank you, Clobby, and Raquel. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
That.
We love you. What
you.
Terrific reviews from you this week. Every week, Enigmatic Drop Bear. We love you.
And I would apologize for being so obnoxious during my review of Children of Time, but it would be insincere if I apologized because. And I never want to be insincere with you. So, but it was really ridiculous. I don't know. But we all deserved it for that episode existing. Oh, no, exist! Does it exist again?
What Sean said. If a defiant falls in the forest and nobody is there, does it exist?
Stop saying exist! Nah!
Lisa,
you're right. Thank you,
by
Lisa.
Odo? Oh, by
Pardon?
the way he looked in that episode. Oh, it looked so creepy in that episode to me.
Yes,
The
and
golden
did you
boy
see the way
Odo
they
with the shirt
kiss?
open. Oh, oh.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and
Not
he's
good.
definitely no DeForest Kelly. Like, you are no Jackson DeForest Kelly. You need to do your shirt up all the way. You are no John Travolta, Sweet Pea. Do your shirt up. Do it up now. Do it up all the way up.
Exist.
Poor Renee. God.
Thank you, Jill. You exist, Jill. I don't exist, actually. Stop existing, everybody. Now. Stop it. Stop saying exist. No, you don't exist. No. Well. Oh, my goodness. So basically what happened was they didn't exist, but then they existed, but now they don't exist, but they remembered them even though they never existed.
Oh, no.
Right? Did I fit? Does that about sum it up?
Pleasant
Yeah, they're the only
Picker
ones
is
that would
right.
know them. Yeah.
Odo does look like one of those creepy guys on the front of one of those romance novels.
Yeah,
Stick.
Fabio, exactly. Pleasant
It's
Valley,
so
yeah.
true, PvP.
That's what I was thinking of, Fabio. Yeah.
Ew.
Oh, jeez.
Well, he could change to look like Fabio, actually, right? Technically.
He
Yeah,
could. Yes,
he's
could.
learned how to shapeshift.
Yeah.
But at least we know that if he loves you, he'll destroy the universe for you.
Yes, the pad and the probe proved they existed, but they didn't really exist.
Cavatino, you might be onto something. Says from your symptoms, I have to ask, when was the last time you consumed popcorn? Because it sounds like you are. Yeah, I don't have any right now. I only have some chips.
Buttery popcorn.
And I'm not. Yeah, popcorn may not exist anymore. The popcorn doesn't exist here right now. So I don't know. But you're right. I'm in trouble. I don't even have any M&Ms. I have some Oreos. You think that might help, Cavatino? Let me know what you think.
I think
only if they're double
Cavatino
stuff.
is correct. You
They're
need
mega
popcorn, and you need
You
M&Ms.
got mega stuff.
Yep. What's that, Rico?
Nothing. I think you do need popcorn. I think we all need.
I don't have any. I have mega stuff Oreos.
I need
and
to
some
eat.
chips.
Let's eat.
We're gonna get you out of here so you can get something to eat. Well, everyone, we're gonna get number one out of here so she can finally get something to eat tonight. Since otherwise, Mark will start talking about food, and then it's gonna make her even worse.
Yeah, I could talk about food if you want. Yeah,
Mark.
No
I had
food.
some great Chinese food last night. It was delicious. Oh, it was so
Really?
good.
Oh, I would love some Chinese food.
You guys are
General
awful.
Tso's chicken. It was so
I would
good.
love some. So, all right, everybody. Let's see. Show notes. We'll do those quick because there's I can't think of too many. Let's see. Of course, tomorrow night on. Well, I'll do that after I get some. We're gonna do this quick. Let's do this orderly. Number one. Any final words?
Yes, I would like to thank each and every single person who came to the chat tonight to add their voices, their opinions, their reviews, their thoughts. It's just outstanding. We love these conversations, and each and every one of you brings the magic every Saturday, and we love you for it. So I doff my cap to you. Thank you so much for participating and saying such wonderful things. You are wonderful conversationalists. I want to thank all of the wrenches. You are the unsung heroes. We love you so much. Thank you for helping us to make this space such a cool place to be. I want to thank my Patreon subs, Sean Carter, Cardinal Sin, Shooter, Larry, Tony Stark, Chris Persia, Scuba Pete and Leslie, Eric K and Mike Kirby, Enigmatic Dropper, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, Mark D with a C, Jilly Jill, and Maximum Redstone. I also want to thank Mark for just being a great friend and always being there behind the scenes to lend a hand. He's a marvelous human being, and
Thank you.
none of us would be here without Clobby. He is the grand poobah of all of geekdom. He is our leader. He is our captain. He's the captain of the 735. Clobby, we love you. Thank you for creating this space for us. We have such wonderful adventures here with you. You are outstanding, and we love you. Mwah!
Love you. Thank you so much. Chief Engineer Mark D, any final words? And what's going on with you?
Oh, yeah, what's going on? Well, yeah, great Chinese food last night. My daughter's back. It's her birthday this weekend, so we're celebrating.
Happy birthday.
That's why I had to
Mark
mention the
D's daughter.
food. Yeah, happy birthday to Nicole. And it was also JD Herzog's birthday today too.
Yeah.
Martok. So happy birthday to him. Yep, he's 72 today. 70, Klingons live a long time, thankfully. But no, a great time hanging out tonight as always. I think I always say, even though the episodes are crummy, the chat. You guys in the chat are awesome and a lot of fun. I think we heard Clobbering Times lose his mind tonight a few times. That was
bad.
hysterical. That was bad, yeah. So we'll have to have a special. We'll have to get Captain Finning on the clubhouse to discuss it. Just kidding. But no, Sunday night Geekery will be. He was here in the chat though. Yeah, we will have Sunday night Geekery tomorrow night. So looking forward to talking about maybe some Mandalorian, maybe some poopy stew, maybe whatever. Some Shazam, the real Captain Marvel. But if I get a chance to go see it tomorrow, I'm gonna try to go see it. But no, awesome time. I always appreciate everyone who checks out my channel. So thank you. I won't blame you. Yep. So thank you so much, everyone. Yep.
Well, let's see here. Now, of course, I'll hopefully be hanging out on the Geekery tomorrow night. Again, that's 10 p.m. Eastern at Mark's channel. Everyone, please please go to his family. If you haven't subscribed to him already, please do. And and join us tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern. For that, geeking out about geekness, like you said. Monday night, Marksy Comics Talk. I'll definitely be talking some comics. Not exactly sure what yet. I may have a topic. I may review something. We don't know. But let's see here. Tuesday night, I'm very happy and very honored to be asked on our good buddy J-Man's channel. That'll be 4:30 Central, so that'll be 5:30 Eastern on his channel. With he and Sean and I will be reviewing Shazam #1 from the early 1970s, when DC brought the character when it first became a DC character back in 1973, I think it's from. So looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Larry, for the $2 super chat. We want Raquel emoji. Well, she can make one if she wants to.
Oh wow! Okay,
please do it,
Larry. I try to do every request we get. I really try to answer all of them and get them fulfilled. So I love you, Larry, and I will do my best.
Go for it, absolutely.
I don't think that we're allowed to yet.
Okay, well, whatever you can.
Yeah. We're going to have to wait until we have more members. And it's important that Larry knows that, and everyone knows that. We only get access to more emojis as our community grows.
But you can switch it for one if you want. It's fine.
No.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Raquel. Fine. Raquel emoji is not illegal. Yeah.
Anyway, let's see here. So, what else we got? Tuesdays and Thursday nights, I'm at Midnight Edge After Dark at 6 p.m. Central with the great Tom Connors and the Midnight August gang over there. Midnight's Edge, and then Wednesday nights 7 I'm at the Comic Roundtable on Loki's great channel, and Friday nights, of course, with Nick Weiser 8:30 with his great comic shop show, but I don't think there'll be one next week. And anyway, of course, Wednesdays, Wildcard Wednesday nights here on my channel, 9 p.m. As it is on 9 p.m. is always my starting time, almost always. And of course, the Clubhouse with Raquel and Mark Thursday nights. So and of course, next week again. Next week, we will finish up season 5 of DS9 in the cards and call to arms, and then some best, some worst, some overall views of the season, ratings, and that kind of stuff. So thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. You've been fantastic. I'm going to do the shout outs now, and then we're going to get on out up and hill. Of course, big thanks, as always, to the Chief Engineer, Mark D., hanging out with us.
Thank you. Yep.
Thank you, buddy. We appreciate you. The great Anti-Derivative Jill, our Chief Engineer. It's your Communications Chief. Thank you, Jill. And, of course, the great Lord Thoth and Lady Thoth. Let me shout out the Wrenches, and then we'll shout everyone else out here. Of course, the great Wrenches. LeBron's Wrencher himself, Eric K., and his puppy. The great Chris Persia, who I believe had to leave, but the Vindicator Wrench of the North, Chris Persia. D. Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron. The aforementioned Lord Thoth, God of Wrenches, with the great Lady Thoth. And Avon lives and long live the Legion and their little puppy. My great friend from Earth B, J-Man, the Wrench Without Fear. Hungry Boy, Master of the Claboni, great artist of Clobbering Times and cover artist of the wonderful book R.M. Briggs's Science Fiction Tales. Steve, a.k.a. Kal-El, the Super Wrench. Maddie's Daddy. Railton of Wrench Mjolnir and Fanty Outsider. And let's see here. up in Hume. What we got going on here? All right. Shooter. Thank you for being here, Shooter. Raymond and Sandra Feliciano. Stuart Mitchell. Oops, sorry. Y'all hear me okay? Let's see. The Comic Relief Crusader. Dave G. Sound. Michael Beacom, and shout out to Cassandra. The Enigmatic Drop Bear. The Catman, aka D.D. Myers. Pleasant Valley Picker. Lovely Lisa. J.T. Kirk Buddy. Classic Comics, CC. Hungry Boy. All right, I got you. Well, always get shouted out twice because he's a great friend. Can't hurt. SP4H. Midnight's Oblivion. And they call him Scuba Pete. Alaric Harrison. Simply Steve 68. Admiral Teague. Captain Infinity and Beyond. Sean Carter. Matt G. Linrod. Wolfie. Dadman and the Dadman Clan. Rob Altus. Cardinal Sin. DVB. Jerry Lahane. Herc 130. The Great Maximum Redstone. Daisy Blossom. Larry Zathros. Captain James C. Skywalker. It's Courtney's. Wendy and Jimmy. Cavatino, Catherine Shea. DJ Ronnie G. The Tetrarch of Apathy. Minimusness Prime and Snail Messiah. Hope I didn't miss anybody, everyone. I'll also say, in case I haven't seen him in a while, I hope our buddy Terrell72 is doing okay. And anyone out there lurking, we really appreciate you. And if you're listening on a download or a rewatch, we cannot thank you enough. We really, really appreciate it. Appreciate all of our viewers. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful remainder of your weekend. Good night, everybody. Clobber on, clobberers.
It is green.
No bloody A, B, C, or D.
Clabberin, Control, Clabberin, Clabberin,
Then proceed, Clabberin. If you proceed, Clabberin, you'll come with me.
I just love clobbering time.